We don't bow to lies. We stand for truth, faith, and family. This is Break the Machine! In a world of noise and endless spin, two voices rise to call truth in. From the heartland's fire to the soldier's creed, they talk faith and freedom, not corporate greed. Break the machine, stand tall and free. For the flag, the faith, and the family tree. Big red one and the daywalker call. Truth ain't dead. It's breaking through the wall. For every man and woman who ever wore the patch. For every heart that still believes. We don't just talk about freedom. We live it. Break the machine. Let the truth ignite. Raise your voice. It's time to fight the fight. Big red one and daywalker's light. Shining faith and freedom through the night. This is Break the Machine, where patriots speak loud and truth never dies.
Ah, just Scott and I were laughing at something pretty funny. Actually, at a very funny movie. While we were listening to our intro, it reminded him of a movie. And then once he once he told me about it, it made me think of that movie too. Great
I
fucking
can't stop
hysterical
thinking
movie
of
too.
it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be thinking about that movie the whole fucking show now. Like that scene with the
Stop.
flare. He's like, "You don't have enough flare on your." She's like, "Flare?
That was a
How's
different.
this?
No,
How's
that's a
this?"
different movie. That's a different movie.
Which one?
That's you think that was Office Space.
No, 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 no. That was Waiting, man.
No, Flair was
Oh no, you're
wait
right.
Office
You're right.
Space.
You're right. She worked. Yeah, absolutely right. It was definitely Office Space. 100% correct.
I am. Yeah, don't
No,
mess with me.
waiting was the with the what was that shit that they did with the chicken?
The
That prank
chicken.
that they used to the prank
Oh
that they
yeah,
did with the chicken.
you had to put it down by your
You had to put it in your
make
crotch and fuck it.
you had you had to well you had to make your crotch look like a piece of chicken. I think
Yeah.
we'll pull it back so it's nice and veiny. It's like make it look like a brain. The brain. Then you get
Oh
somebody's
God.
ass.
Well, welcome back, America. Welcome back to another episode of Break the Machine podcast. You guys know you never know how we're going to start, you never know how we're going to end. And we just start off wherever we feel like it because we just never know what we're going to talk about. Uh, anyway, Jonathan, uh, Scott has got a bunch of movies he's gonna recommend for comedies and stuff like that. So we just got to make sure we get him up on a Discord. I'm sure you probably have him because you have like a bunch of shit. Um, and whatnot. So tonight we have Frankie Rodriguez. We're just waiting for her to stop by. And once she gets in, we will bring her up on the screen for all of you guys to see. This will be her third time coming on the show. Uh, she was on with us originally by herself. Then she was on a panel with us, and now she said she texted me and said she was psyched to come on. So we're just waiting for her. When she gets on, we'll bring her up. Scott, how was the rest of your weekend after Saturday, bro?
Well, it ended up not ending like when after we finished up on Saturday. It
Yeah.
ended up going pretty late because the person I was waiting for to come home didn't come home Sunday. They came home late Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So I
Ah,
did not get my crap together. Of course, I was thinking, like, as per usual, I was thinking, oh, I'll just finish it in the morning.
yeah.
Oh,
She threw a wrench in that program. So if you guys did not watch,
yeah,
okay, the Salty Dog Show at like the 6:36 mark is when Scott comes on and he has one hell of a fucking Christmas story that is just it was absolutely hysterical. We went on for almost 40 minutes talking about it and it was just very, very funny.
yeah.
So guys, go back and watch that A Salty Dog from Saturday. It was
She
absolutely hilarious. I just wish you would
she
have been
was.
able to finish it, man. I
I
wanted to see the
wish.
end result, man.
And the problem is that we're still not done. That's the that's the bigger wrench in the plan is that she came home and then she came home, she got mad. Didn't last as long as I thought it would,
Right.
but then
Probably because
it
she's used to your
basically in
shenanigans already, bro.
yeah. Oh, how could you be mad at this face? Um, but then it was almost like then I was then pretty quickly she took over the operation and
Oh, she put a halt on it, so
no, no, no,
it's on a
not
freeze
at
right now.
all. No,
Oh,
nope,
okay.
not that, not that. It's more like, oh, good. Well, you brought all the stuff up, so great. Let's start going through all
Let's
this
start
stuff
going through our
now.
stuff.
Yeah. And no, we
Uh,
don't need that. And no, we don't need that. And no, no, not that, not this year. And no, not that this year. And I
Hi,
had pulled
Sonia.
out quite a bit. I
Sonia
had
said
pulled
she's
out a
never
lot.
going to vote again.
Why? What happened, Sonia?
She's pissed at Trump right now.
Oh, well, there's things to be pissed off about him.
Yeah, there's always stuff to be pissed at. Like, we call it because like he's chumming it up with the Brazilian president and whatnot. And obviously she's from Brazil and whatnot, and she's very involved in what's going on
Oh
in
yeah, I didn't.
there.
I see. I didn't actually get a chance to see what exactly he was doing, but I think Sonia told me that he was he was not saying like any bad words about him.
Yeah,
And my gut take on that was that he's probably just politicking. He probably is going to try and get something from him. So
yeah,
he's not that bad of a guy, or I don't know him that well,
yeah.
because that's
I,
how he
I,
works.
the only thing I can say to that, Sonia, is that they were in a diplomatic meeting, and he probably chose not to say the things that he usually likes to say when he's off the cuff,
Mhm.
and whatnot. That is the only. I don't have anything else other than that. Is that he was in diplomatic meetings with the president of Brazil. I agree with you. The president of Brazil is an absolute scumbag. He's a commie fuck. He calls
Yeah,
Trump a fascist, all the time and whatnot. Um, you know, but the only thing I will say, this is the only other thing I will say, guys. We call Scott and we call balls and strikes when it comes to Trump. But one of the other things we always try to tell you guys is don't always pay attention to what he's saying. Pay attention to what exactly he does. Okay, after the fact, right? Because like in a meeting, he might chum it up with you, and then come fucking 2 days later, you're getting absolutely railed by him.
yeah. My place,
So
because doesn't he have like some major tariffs on Brazil right now?
he does on a lot of different places. Hi, Nina. Good to see you.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure he doesn't. I think I don't know if he just upped them even more, or that's another place I'm thinking of.
China. He
But
definitely put 100% on China, but they're supposedly in
in
talks
Canada,
right
he
now.
just upped them, right? He bumped Canada's up after the talks broke down.
Yeah, he bumped him
Um,
up, and then in
but
response to
Brazil,
that, Canada started taking things off and stuff like that because they're trying to fix it immediately.
right? So, but I'm pretty sure Brazil had some pretty severe ones put on them. So he's got leverage. You know, that's the thing. Every time he acts a certain way, especially when it seems like he's acting out of character, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes he's going in hard on somebody, and then sometimes he's actually talking about like, yeah, I don't know, you know, Trump knows. Do you think he's an idiot? Do you think Trump doesn't know who Lula is? Do you think he's not
yeah,
fully aware of what's going on in Brazil? I mean,
yeah. His people are
Bolsonaro is
telling
one of
him.
his. Yeah, do you think he's not chummy with Bolsonaro? He's trying to help Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
He's put um he's put sanctions. He's canceled the visas of all of these Brazilian
Yep.
officials.
Yep.
He knows exactly what's going on in Brazil. So don't think that he's just, oh, he's not, you know, he's treating him too nice. Oh, he knows it's a strategy.
Yeah.
Everything he does is a strategy.
And, and again, he's on a diplomatic stage and stuff like that.
Mhm,
Um, and Jonathan, you're correct. Javier Milei won re-election down there in Argentina.
mhm,
Sonia says Trump knows there are thousands of political prisoners and that Bolsonaro never ever tried to kill Lula like Lula claims. And I'm pretty
right.
sure Trump is aware that Bolsonaro never tried to have him killed. I think like Scott says, we know that he's actually pretty tight with Bolsonaro. So
Mhm.
again, the only thing I ask, you know, yeah, it's hard for
Didn't he
us, and
already
I know it's
offer him
probably hard for
asylum
you.
too?
Yes, he did. I believe he did offer
Yeah.
us him asylum.
Yeah, I don't think he can't just go in and get him, you know, and like steal him away. Although CIA could probably do that if they wanted, but
I mean, they're in fucking Venezuela right now, dude. Right? They can't just go right over the
uh,
border and go get
they probably
Bolsonaro
could.
and take him out of the country.
You know what? The long game is maybe that's why they're in Venezuela. Maybe they're actually, you know, trying to be there for something else. That would be
Well,
actual a real strategy.
yeah. Listen,
You know, that everyone's focus is on Venezuela.
yeah, and the focus really, I think the ultimate focus is on China, Scott. Right? China has a significant grip, okay, on both Central and
Mhm,
South America for years now, well over 10 years,
mhm,
well over a decade. They've managed to, put some serious roots down. Um, and obviously we know we don't fucking trust the CIA and shit like that, but they still have a job to do, right? Like it's
mhm,
like, we can't do that job. Right. So, like, I'm not fucking praising the CIA because of all the bullshit, okay, that they've done over the decades and all the shit that has come out about them. But the reality is, there are
mhm.
people that are needed to do dirty work, and the fucking CIA is a big part of that.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, we'll if we disband things like the CIA and like we would like to, I would love to, okay, but then who does the dirty work for us? You know. Um, Hang on. Sonia says he's under house arrest, and the federal police live inside his house, Bolsonaro's house. They're not. Yeah, he can't leave or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely on lockdown.
Yeah. No, he's definitely
But
on lockdown. But for all we know, he's negotiating his release. That's a speculation.
could be.
I am not. I have zero proof, America, that that's what's happening. Okay, but Sonia, this is something that's very, very close to Sonia's heart. Being from
Mhm,
Brazil and being an American citizen now, she loves this country, but she also still loves Brazil. She sees what has happened in her country, so I understand why she feels a certain way about it. She has every right to feel that way. I get it, But all I ask for you, Sonia, is it's okay to have these feelings, but just again, watch how he moves, okay? Because Trump says a lot of
yeah.
shit, and then he moves completely different, okay? Um,
Mhm,
you know, they thought he was going to be sucking Putin's cock in his first term. He actually the amount of shit he did to Russia, okay, economically during his first term was just insane. He laid it on. He sanctioned the shit out of them every chance he had. So
yeah.
again, we don't know in the end what his move's going to be, but I get it. You voted for him too. You want to see him be the leader of not only the America, but of the free world, because our president is the fucking leader of the free world. He still is. As America
Yeah.
first as we are, we can never forget that there's still a world that we're part of. Okay. Even though we must take care of shit here first. Um, but I get your feelings, Sonia. I completely understand that. I respect it. Um, yeah, she sent the video to us if we could what do you call it? Post it. She made a video. What's going on,
Yeah.
Ray's Moto Life? Um,
That's the thing, though. You got to remember too. There's only so much he can do without crossing the line. You know,
yeah.
like yeah. I mean, could he do a lot more? Of course, he might have to declare something if he's
In order to do
such.
it, and
Yeah,
he's got to get certain people's he's got to talk to certain people about it first before he can actually do it.
yeah. I mean, and Brazil's not a small country either.
Yeah.
It's one thing. It's one thing to be messing around with a tiny little area, um, or half of the country or something like that. But Brazil's massive. I mean, it's not really. What are we going to do? Invade Brazil? It's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
It just
Can't do
I don't
that.
know. I think his frame of thought really with stuff is economically. How do you destroy somebody economically and force them to come to the table?
Yeah.
He thinks of other ways to do
Well,
things. Um,
the first thing is, you limit the ability of their largest buyer,
yeah,
to want to buy from them, which
correct.
is us.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's very true.
You know,
No, no, you're right, man.
their biggest exports are what? Agriculture. I don't,
Yeah.
do they have an oil industry? I don't even know.
That is a good question. If I think I know, I believe, like
I know
Argentina, I
Venezuela's right
believe
there.
I know other than coffee, I think we get beef from them too, as well.
Beef, that's right.
Um, yeah, we get,
Agriculture,
yeah,
goods and also
yes.
animals,
Jonathan
I'm
says
sure.
Brazil has oil as well.
Mhm.
Actually, we are getting oil from them, I believe, as well, from Brazil as well. I really don't want to
Maybe
get
not as,
oil from anybody. I'd
yeah,
rather
we don't need
fucking
to
go
get from
back to what
anybody.
we were doing, because the reality is we don't need it to get it from anybody.
Yeah.
Sonia says beef, soy, grains. Yes. So there is an agricultural component to what it is that we do with Brazil. Um, again, we don't know
Seeing if
what's
we
going on in those talks, other than them
if
two.
we and if we limit the number of liberals here in this country, then we're not going to have a need to import as much soy. Just stands to reason.
Soy milk and stuff like that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what Jonathan just said. The
Demand is
same
going to
thing.
go down.
Jonathan just said the same thing. He says, I mean, we could stop the soy, it would kill off the left. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We don't need soy. And there's no such thing as fucking soy milk. If it doesn't come from a tit, it's not milk.
Mhm. If
All
we
right.
eliminate the amount of soy coming in,
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot more testicles drop, and
Starbucks
voices are probably going
closing.
to voices are going to deepen. People are going to start growing more hair on their arms
Soy
and on
has
their
been an
chest.
absolute devastation to fucking men.
They'll grow hair on their chest instead of actual breasts.
Yeah, that's true. So true.
Mhm.
But I get it, Sonia. Just like don't 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 step out of the fight. I know you said you're never gonna vote again. You can't do that. We can't afford to have that. Um
Yeah,
don't it's okay to be upset. Just don't blackpill yourself. Just
yeah.
keep using your voice, like you continue to do. She says the
Not to
letter Lula
mention,
wrote to Trump is full of
not,
lies, and he is asking Trump to remove the Magnitsky law imposed in all judges of the Supreme Court in Brazil. Those people are evil. Yeah, well, the judges are in
they
cahoots
are.
with the government as a whole in Brazil right now is in devastation. It
Mhm.
is completely and totally corrupt. Um, you know, we know it's a stolen election. We know Bolsonaro won his reelection and everything like that. We know that. There's just so much we can fucking do. I mean, other than actually invading a country, which he's not going to do. Yeah. Or they're asking about the Christmas thing.
They were. It's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, no,
You
Nina.
know
Yeah,
what?
we talked about it briefly. Go ahead.
I will say this to Sonia though. Sonia, honestly, it literally just happened today. Anything. Don't overreact. Let it breathe. First of all, by the end of the week, it's probably not even going to be what we're all thinking right now.
Right.
And God,
It's never
God
going to
help
be
us,
what we're thinking.
a year or 2 or 3 years from now, when it's like the 2028 election, we definitely won't even be in the same place. So, you know,
Yeah.
one thing you is as much as one thing obviously is means a lot to your heart. You just gotta breathe and make your voice heard online that that you're not happy about it. That's the best thing you can
Right.
do. Don't
Right.
shut
Hey,
down.
Rosie, good to see
Just
you.
the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
Don't.
louder about it online. Go tag him. Go tag him. Excuse me.
Rubio.
Tag Ru Yeah, exactly. Tag Rubio. Let them know how you feel. Because they do that stuff does get back to them.
Yeah.
And
They
I'm
do
sure you're
have
not
their
the only one who
people.
was annoyed by it.
Yeah, they do have their people monitoring the socials because we see it all the time that like
Yeah.
something that they're getting hit over the head with, then they have to either come out explain it or they change course. So they do got people. Yeah, Nina, she's talking about the Brazilian Supreme Court being completely and totally the courts in general being
Yeah.
completely and totally
The,
corrupt. The
s-
government is
the
completely
Supreme
and totally
Jesters.
corrupt. Yeah, the Supreme Jesters down there. Um, there,
Yeah.
it's not a
Very,
court.
very
There's no
corrupt.
justice. Yeah. She said she tagged the president, Rubio, and the American embassy in Brazil.
Good. Yeah,
Good.
tag the whoever the ambassador is as well for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good thing.
'Cause
Find out,
I don't know who the ambassador is offhand.
Jonathan, can you find out who the ambassador to Brazil is from the United States, please?
Sonia probably knows.
That's true. Sonia probably knows exactly. Who's the ambassador, Sonia? Who's our ambassador to Brazil? Yeah, she probably knows that. Pretty
We
sure
have to
she
have
does.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, we have one. Oops, hold on
Welcome.
one second.
We're welcome, Sonia. We love you, honey. You know, you're part of this movement too. We don't want you to give up. Okay? We don't want you to give up. All right? Don't black pill yourself, but it's okay to be upset. It is absolutely okay to be upset about something. It is okay to do like what we do. We call balls and strikes about things and stuff like that. Um I hang on one second, fam. 1 second. Um I sent
Okay.
it to her, bro. I sent it to her. Tell her to check her
Oh,
email. Hang on. I'll tell you what email in a sec that I sent it to. Here, go to Gmail. I sent it to. I sent it. Hang on, man. I sent it to Frankie at realfrankie.com. Yeah, we don't. We just don't black pill. Does she still need it? Okay, so Jonathan says we don't have a confirmed ambassador to Brazil. Um, Gabriel Escobar is serving as the charge d'affaires ad interim as of January 21st. So we don't have an actual, what do you call it? Does she still need me to send it again? Um, Hang on. Tell her to give you an email to send it to, and I'll send it to her. And then just put it in the private chat. And I sent that to her, just so you know. I sent that to her at 12:50 p.m., bro. So it was almost 1 o'clock when I sent that to her. Yeah. Scott's talking to our guest, having issues with her link. We just want to fix that. Yeah, so we do not have an ambassador to Brazil yet. And it's probably part of the confirmations that the Democrats have been holding up. It wouldn't surprise me because they held up a whole bunch of confirmations for a long time, and then with the shutdown, they pushed some stuff. What's going on, Scoob? Nice to see you, brother. Haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you, man. Let's talk about popping pills. Turmeric should be supposed to be good for you, man. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, she's got access to the studio. Bro, pop in really quick. So she's still having issues getting in?
Yeah, did you see the DM?
Hang on. She DM'd me? Or you DM'd me?
I DM'd you on here.
I saw the first one. I saw thief. Okay. I'll take care of that right now. Thank you very much. All right. I'll be back. Go ahead, Scott. You got him.
Okay, she's going to check it right now. Should be on in a minute. Sorry, everybody. Technical issues. I don't know where the link went. Scoob. Scoob, I think it has been a while since I saw you. How you doing, Scoob? Let me see. Yeah, Sonia, it's true. I know. I understand if he. We don't. I don't understand that we don't want him in power, but I mean, short of a revolution, we have to use diplomacy, and we got to try to limit his power any way we can. That's one thing that I believe Trump can knows how to do. I don't think Trump is going to, placate him in any way. For one, I don't think he has to. Um, but sometimes strategies with people isn't taking a hard line. There's certain people you want to take a hard line with, and some people you want to. He's probably just trying to schmooze them, trying to butter him up, and so he comes to the table, with something. And trust me, there's plenty of things that Trump can use against him, to get things in return. Because in the end, the U.S. has more power over them. That's just the bottom line. So we can affect them more than they can affect us, and that's the bottom line. So
All right, brother. I sent that, man.
okay, all good.
I guess the other one's not working. The one that was the one I sent it to. I guess whatever.
I don't know.
She'll be on shortly. Yeah, I sent it to. I guess that's probably the email for her newsletter, for her
Okay,
website and whatnot. But now we got her
what's that?
personal email, so that's even better.
Now we can sign her up for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign her up. I'm gonna sign her up for like Kamala's daily book readings or something like that, or
The Kamala
um,
fucking Harris drag queen fucking tour.
mhm.
The drag queen
A-
reading book reading tour.
AOC. Yeah, AOC's AOC or Nancy Pelosi's Drink of the Month Club, and
That would be pretty fucking epic.
she can send her lessons, right? Daily lessons from AOC, how to sound Puerto Rican.
Dude, she couldn't. Did you hear her? Did you hear her fucking running her soup cooler on stage for that commie fuck? Uh, and like she was raised in Westchester, so like
Hmm.
she can't
She's not
even
she's not
she
Queens
can't
by any
even
means. Yeah.
yeah, she has zero Bronx or Queens in her. Okay, zero,
Hmm.
because she left the city at the age of 5. So like
Yeah.
even with me, for the most part, my Brooklyn accent is fucking gone because I've been away and I've traveled so much. But with that said, I get freaking when I get pissed off, it comes out of me. Hey, good job, Ray's Moto. Ray, good job, brother. Hit over 19K on Instagram today. Keep it
Nice.
going, man. It's
Congrats,
good to see,
Rage.
brother. It's absolutely freaking good to see, man. It's good shit, man. Right on. All right, man. We are going to give you some fireworks. There you go, brother. Good job, man. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I've been stuck on ice for a very long time. I've actually had over the last 2 months, I've had some traction. So I was down to about 22K 2 months ago, and I'm almost at 25.
Yeah.
So I've had some. It's melted somewhat. It
Hey,
melted a little bit.
I know that person.
Yeah. Hang on, and we
There she
have
is.
Frankie Rodriguez in the house. Hey, Frankie.
Hello. So sorry for all the technical difficulties.
Nah, it's not a big deal. It's not a
So
big
so
deal.
excited to be here.
We figured it out. We
Mhm.
got it. Yeah, I had your email from probably for your webpage. Um, I sent it to that one, so I didn't have the one that you gave Scott. So,
No,
uh,
that's an accurate email. It just wasn't coming in.
gotcha. All right. Well, now we got you. How have you been? It's
There.
good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Things have been wild, crazy, a lot of things happening, but good
Yeah,
things, good things.
there's always something going on in a news cycle, right?
Yes.
Can never freaking
And
yeah.
if
For
not, you should
sure.
be worried.
Yeah, there's always
Yeah.
something, and it's insane. We were actually just talking about Brazil right now. One of our viewers um is originally from Brazil. She's an American citizen now. She's been a citizen forever. Um, but like, Brazil's still near and dear to her. She hates to see the communist stuff that was going on, and
Mhm.
I know Trump was meeting with the president, and he was a little bit chummy, but we were trying to remind her that don't always pay attention to what he's saying, pay attention to what he does afterwards, because like it is a diplomatic setting, so he's going to be as
Mhm.
diplomatic as possible.
Mhm.
And then next thing you know, like 2 days later, then all of Brazil's getting hit with like 300% tariffs or some shit like that. So you just never know what's gonna happen with him. But
Yeah.
she doesn't, obviously, like a lot of us, we don't like what's happening to Bolsonaro. He's on house arrest and whatnot. Uh, yeah, it's her. She
Mhm.
says hello. uh, but she actually was on the show. She talked Brazil a little bit with us and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we just want to reassure her, because she started off when she came on. She's like, "I'm never voting again." I was like, "No, no, no,
No,
don't do
no,
that.
no. That's what
Don't
they
black pill
want.
Mhm.
yourself. Yeah, don't black pill yourself."
Mhm.
But I get the
Um,
feeling of where she just she's watching horrible things happen in where she came from, right? Like she
Mhm.
still loves Brazil, still
Of
holds
course.
a big place in her heart, as much as she loves it here in the United States, as much as she loves being a U.S. citizen, you know. So she just, we were just trying to talk to her and let her know that just pay attention to what he does afterwards,
Mhm.
because
mhm.
he'll say one thing in a meeting, and then and I brought up what he did with Russia in his first term, right? Like everybody thought he was just going to be dick riding Putin, and the amount of sanctions that he actually put
Mhm.
on Russia in his first term, like he was crippling them,
Mhm.
okay, financially. He was literally crippling them. And
Yeah.
then it took Joe Biden coming in and lifting every single one of those sanctions between not only Russia but with Iran. He actually had Iran bankrupt,
Mhm.
okay,
Yep.
completely bankrupt. All right. And so again, I watch how he
Mhm.
moves. I don't even listen to him sometimes. Obviously, when he's saying some funny shit, I'm listening to him because he says a lot of funny stuff. Everybody's saying hello to you, Frankie. They all wanted to say hi. So,
Hello, hello everyone. I'm
uh,
so excited to be. I'm so excited to be back on here. Just to add to that really quick, I also want
Yeah.
to mention, because it's very difficult, especially when it comes to foreign policy, right? Where we're all usually on the edge of our chairs to see what's going on, what's going to be the next move. And you can't always go based off of, surface level quotes, things that are being said at the moment,
That's a
because
good point.
you also have to think about there's a lot of strategy and a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that we don't know about as civilians.
For sure.
And you have to consider the fact that there have to be some things that remain, behind public. What's the phrase? I'm like spacing on the
Just
phrase, but just
behind closed
not
doors.
Yes,
behind,
closed.
behind closed doors, because
Yeah.
you can't lay out every single strategy and every plan that you have for the future, because that's how your enemies can take advantage of you. So you always have to kind of not really be showing all of your cards. You have to work with everyone. You have to work with allies, you have to work with enemies, especially.
Yep.
And you don't always know what that next plan is going to be. And honestly, that was one of the reasons why I trusted him. I'm not saying that he's perfect in any way, but that's
By no
one of,
means.
yeah, well, that is one of the characteristics that I do like about him. You never know if he's going to be your best bud or drop 50 bombs on you for saying the wrong thing on Twitter.
Right.
So it's
A good way
a
of putting it.
strategy. Yeah, it is a strategy. If you mess with him, you don't know if you're going to have a bomb dropped on you or not. So don't always look at everything, face value. Exactly how you said. Look at the actions, look at it, kind of reverse engineer everything. You can kind of start picking up on the patterns. You can see how he's laying out other things that are not usually mentioned in mainstream media. And that's, to me, honestly, that's the best way to kind of have the best outlook on what could come in the future. And then just stay prepared. There's a lot of things that you can always do, whether you know what's going to come or not. So just be prepared to look at what options you have versus whatever happens in the future. And that's honestly the best that you can do, because whether we have a good president or a terrible president in office, you have to be prepared regardless of who's in there. So
That's
that's
very, very
that's
true.
that's your responsibility as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct about making sure you brace yourself. You got to brace for impact, regardless of who's in place. Um, and it, like you said, there's so much stuff that we're not going to see, and there's things that just have to happen behind closed doors, right? Like we still have to dialogue with our adversaries. We have to, whether we like it or not. And it's something that the U.S. throughout history, depending on who's in office, okay, we do or don't practice. We lean more towards don't practice, but this is the first president in a long time that has thoroughly practiced, okay, trying to dialogue with our adversaries so he can get into their mentals to see where they're at, okay, and obviously watching how they move so he knows how to react, right? And he can't do that if you can't do that if you're not in touch with anybody, right? You're just like ignoring everything, and just relying on our what do you call it, our intelligence, which is we know how that is and how that's
Mm-hmm.
been for the last 30, 40 years, okay. Ever since they got essentially ever since they pretty much got rid of human intelligence and went to all everything eye in the sky and all that other stuff that started under the Clinton administration, okay, we lost a lot of intelligence throughout the world, period. um, a lot of our assets dried up all over the world because of that. And obviously, listen, I was saying earlier, we were talking about how the CIA is in Venezuela right now. It's like, yeah, we know we can't trust the CIA to do, with some of the shit, and they're trying to uproot. One thing Tulsi Gabbard is doing in the intelligence agency right now, she is absolutely fucking running roughshod on them. Okay, they don't know how to react to her. She has been given a mission by President Trump, and she is absolutely freaking destroying it. It's not happening like fast, because it's not gonna happen fast,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. With that said, we still need the CIA, right? We still need people who are going to do the dirty work. There's a lot of dirty work that needs to get done, okay, that we can't do. That's just the reality of that world. Okay, there are real life bad guys in this world. I know. I've
Yeah.
seen them up front and personal. Okay, I've seen them in real time. So I'm telling you, there are real life monsters in this world, and you need other monsters, unfortunately, to fight back. That's the nature of that beast in the intelligence world. Doesn't mean that I'm saying like the CIA is like they're not perfect. We know they're very imperfect. Okay, and have done a lot of shady shit. Okay, especially here in this country. That's the shit that we want to stop. But we still need them, okay, to put in work in other parts of the world, especially because the Chinese have a foothold in our hemisphere right now. I know you've looked into a lot of this shit.
among some other countries as well.
Yeah, they have a foothold in our hemisphere. Okay,
Yeah.
they're all over South America and Central America right now. Hey, Blondie, good to see you. Uh, so we got to do something to counter that,
Mhm.
right? So that's what I'm saying.
Precisely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't pay attention too much about like you said, the surface stuff. Watch what the moves are afterwards, or pay attention to what moves come later.
Hmm.
That's what's most important. Like you said,
Absolutely.
he might be fucking chumming it up with you, and then you piss him off, and he's dropping a Moab on you, and it's just like you just didn't know. You just
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen when. And I think that's one of the things that got people shook in the world, right? Like they don't know how he's gonna react.
Hmm.
And because they've been brainwashed to think that he's gonna just go off the cuff with everything, it's already in their head, and he uses that to his advantages. Like you never know how I'm gonna act or something. You just never know how I'm gonna react,
Precisely.
And I think he knows how to use that very well.
Precisely.
Chiba in China. Chiba, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Chiba?
Just messing with Sonia.
What are you talking about, Scott?
Scott's just ready, trying to get crazy.
No,
He's
she
trying.
said that she said Chiba bought Brazil, and she followed it up with sorry I meant China, and I said
Right.
no, I think Chiba and China both of them bought Brazil.
So you probably find some Chiba along with the Chinese in what do you call it
Isn't
in Brazil.
Chiba sounds like a type of cigar anyway? So
Yeah. But it's definitely a plant.
probably something that Trump and Pete Hegseth are blowing up in the Caribbean. Those
Off
boats
the
are probably
coast of
bringing
Venezuela. It's
Chiba
just
plants. They're probably trying to
he
bring them
has
in.
got he has got Maduro. His Maduro's butthole is so moist right now. Okay, like he has got him just like he doesn't know what to do. And
I
the
love how
Chinese
people
aren't
are
helping him,
saying
right?
no, they're not. I
The
love how
Chinese
they're
are
trying
like,
to say in the news, oh, they're blowing up fishing boats. Like, they're not fishing boats.
yeah,
Not
it's
at
not.
all.
It's not even remotely. Uh, I guess it's the actual real war on drugs because there never really was a war on drugs in this country, right? Like we just, again, the CIA had a big part of that too, right? So I'll never forgive him for that. Okay, but I guess if you're gonna have an actual war on drugs, as minute it comes off the coast from whatever country, just sink it. Fuck it, just sink it. Why not?
No.
Right? Like that is the only way. If you're gonna actually have a war on drugs, unfortunately, you're gonna have to go after cartels and hit them hard, right? Can't hit them in Venezuela. We can't drop bombs in Venezuela. But what we can do is in the Caribbean, just continue to just fucking, hey, it's another pirate. Let's sink him. B money. What is going on?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Just treat them like the pirates they are, right? It's piracy when you think about it. They're smuggling, right?
Yeah.
So, it's international waters, and what do we do to pirates in international waters? We fucking sink them. That's what we do.
Mhm.
We don't have to stop and arrest them. Actually, the laws and maritime laws in place that have been in place for centuries mean you can actually sink them. So that's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
piracy's a international crime.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
yeah. So I know you got something. What are you bringing to us today?
Yeah, what are you
You're
What
always
What do
working
working
on?
you?
on something. You're
Yeah.
always
What do
working on
you?
something.
So it's been very interesting. I'm actually really excited that this was the first podcast that I came back on because I'm sure you noticed that I haven't posted much since the
It's been
Charlie
a
Kirk
while.
thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I had posted a few things just because obviously it was so much coming at us in so little time, but I just started noticing a lot of trends, a lot of patterns, and it really made me take a step back because I really wanted to kind of just observe what was happening. Not just in mainstream media, not just what the initial official narratives were, but other people, that we look up to and respected up to this point. And it was just a very interesting shift of focus that I saw in everyone. And it made me realize a lot of things. And we can go into that as well. But I had already been working. I think I had talked to you, Scott, about this already. I had already been working on kind of shifting how I was doing my podcast. I didn't want to just cover current events anymore because so many stories. I feel like, especially since Trump came back into office, it has felt like distraction story after distraction story over and over and over again, where the actual stories that need to be discussed and need to be covered, you have to dig for so long just to find it. You have to dig for these documents. And to me, that's more critical than hearing, what Trump said on the lawn before jumping on Air Force One or whatever. Like, who cares what comment he had on what Schumer said about him? Like, that's just completely irrelevant to what actually matters to us in our daily lives. But no one is talking about what's going on with crypto laws. No one is talking about digital
Get into
ID is
that.
happening in Europe.
Yeah,
So it's
I
all
saw
of these
you.
things.
I
Yeah.
saw you. I'm glad you brought that up. We can segue right into that because I've seen that you've been working on that. So like, and I know you dig into this shit. Like, you really dig into this. So that I would really like to know what's going on with crypto. We know what's going on with digital ID across the world. We know that they want to bring that here in the United States, and that'll probably be fighting in the streets with that shit. Okay, if they try to implement that. So
Hmm.
where are we at? Where are we at? We know what's going on in the world from what you dug up with what are any new crypto laws that they're trying to maybe remove, what the Biden administration is doing. I honestly have not looked into that, and that's probably something because that ties in with all digital currency and all that shit. So what have you discovered?
So the thing with crypto, there's so much to it. It's not something that can just be covered in one segment, right, of a podcast. Um, it's one of those things. Like I said before, you have to prepare. You have to know what is important, and protecting your money is the most important next to your
Right.
health. If you can't protect your wealth and you can't protect your assets in your home and where you are and your family, you're cooked. Like, there's nothing else. It
Right.
doesn't matter who's president and what laws are in place if you
It's true.
don't have the money to take care of yourself. So
Right.
that's what gives you the options and the freedoms to say no to, vaccine mandates and digital IDs if you have the money to um, basically hide yourself in plain sight. You have more options. And this is why it's so important for everyone in America to understand what's going on. So, this had all started years ago, right? We were hearing about the CBDCs overseas. And what
Yep.
that is just centralized banks, right? It's
Yep.
digital money that they control. And the problem is there's so much talk about it without fully understanding how each one works, because let's say, for example, if you're talking about Bitcoin is not the same thing as crypto, and a
No.
lot of people place it under crypto without understanding the differences and why Bitcoin is so critical to what's happening right now versus any crypto or any
It's
crap
not
coin, whatever
it's
that's going on.
definitely like Shiba Inu is not on the same fucking stratosphere as Bitcoin or even
Yeah.
Ethereum for that matter.
Exactly. And even then, like Ether was big a few years ago. Like, I even had it before, and then when I finally understood how each one worked, I realized Bitcoin is not in the same playing field as everything else. It's completely separate. So with the CBDCs, what they're trying to do, and you can see it, they're trying to eliminate cash everywhere. They're trying to. So, first thing to understand, constitutional wise, they can't they can't force you to not be able to use a currency that is, an actual official currency,
Fiat.
right?
You can't
Exactly.
they can't take fiat currency away from
You
us.
cannot, yeah, you cannot just eliminate, but they have the power and the authority to basically manipulate businesses to force them to not take cash. So that's the problem. That's where this comes
Right.
in. If they try to, add whatever taxes or regulations that's going to make it difficult for them to stay in business, they're going to start budging and say, okay, sure, we'll get rid of cash. It's fine. And
Yep.
that's how it starts. It's little by little. Um, so the thing with that, right? If you have crypto and they're crap coins, whatever it is, you're kind of just playing, risking your money if you don't understand what it is. It's just a game. If someone still owns that coin, let's say if it's Ether or whatever, Doge, that's still, somebody can go in there and manipulate that. And so the laws that have come into place now that Trump has been working on, it's for a stable coin. So if you go on any app, right? Like if you're using, I think Coinbase is one of them, where you
Yeah.
can buy crypto and coins
USDC.
and Bitcoin. Yeah. So there's
Yeah, like
USDC.
USDC is considered a stable coin.
Yes.
because
So
it goes actually with the current. It just goes with the American dollar, and actually on the USDC you could, if you treat it, let's say you treat it like a bank, you actually can make a percent. It's not like any. It's more than a
mhm,
regular bank. You can make
correct.
percentage wise like 4% or some shit like that, as opposed to like 1 point whatever.
Correct. So what is great about this new law that they're working on implementing is that it's showing the demand for crypto, and it's showing for sure the demand for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin again is not like anything else. Bitcoin is
Yeah.
decentralized. There is
Yep.
nothing there is nothing that
They
they
can't
can
touch
do
it.
to manipulate
They
your
can't touch it.
wallets. It is all anonymous. They can't take it from you. They can't tell you what you can or can't buy with it. So
For
this
now.
is why it's for for now. But if
Mhm.
they destroy it, the whole system is coming down. So good luck to them. Um,
Yeah,
but
Bitcoin is embedded into everything now.
yeah, so that's what's fantastic about Bitcoin. And we can go deeper into that later if you like, so with the new laws, with the stablecoin laws, what that showed was the demand for crypto and a digital currency, because it's basically proving that fiat money and the US dollar is collapsing. No one has trust in the US dollar anymore. Countries are
Right.
abandoning the US dollar. Every country is buying Bitcoin, they're buying other things. They're replacing it with different currencies because no one trusts the US dollar anymore.
Right.
And that's obviously the fault of our government and the level of inflation. Um, so now there's these laws for crypto. It's basically forcing banks and institutions and businesses to start accepting this crypto. So now you're not just investing into these coins hoping to make something back, right? Because that's usually what people look at crypto as, right? Like they're just investing, hoping that it goes up, and then you sell, and then you make a little bit of money, and then you just keep repeating the process. The thing with Bitcoin is you're not just putting in money, hoping to make money, and then buying and then selling later. The purpose of Bitcoin is to store the value of your dollar, of your energy. Because if you're working, right, let's say for example, if you're saving all of your money in a bank, in 10 years, all of the work that you have just put in is worth only 5 years,
Yeah.
essentially, if that makes sense.
If that,
So
actually, if that,
if
really,
if that,
it's
because
not. Yeah.
because that's the rate of inflation that we're at right now. If you have $100,000 saved today, in 10 years it's only going to be worth 50,000. So what are you doing? You're losing money, leaving your money in the bank. So this is the exact reason why, people invest in art, they invest in homes. They're not investing into multi-million dollar art pieces because they're pretty. They are a store of value. You can sell it again later for more and not lose any of that money. So that's essentially what Bitcoin is. So now if we are having laws going into place that are going to force banks to allow transactions with these digital currencies, and businesses start accepting them, well, now we have a currency that we actually trust, that is not susceptible to inflation. There is absolutely no inflation because we know exactly how many coins there will be in Bitcoin when that process is complete. So there is absolutely zero inflation. That is the absolute most perfect store of value at this point that we have ever had in the history of mankind, like right after gold. So that's a very important step that we have taken essentially for people to be able to prepare, because the US dollar is going to collapse. I know it sounds very fear mongering and, oh, that's crazy, that'll never happen. But here's the thing, the reason that the US dollar is collapsing is because they continue to print. The only reason for that to reverse is if they decide to stop printing. And we know that that's not going to happen. They just keep
Yeah.
pushing that button more and more often every year. So what the question is, what are you going to do to prepare for it? Or are you just going to sit there and say, oh, well, that's just the way it works, this is just going to be life? Or you start reading about what's going on, what's available to you, and how to protect your money.
Yeah.
Have
E
they
money. I
slowed
know you
down the
got.
printing?
Yeah. I don't.
No,
Doesn't
I
look
think
like
we
it.
just hit 38 children I said children,
Trillion.
trillion dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we know, well, that was like one of the things under the Biden admin. They saying that they completely like ramped up the printing.
Mhm.
during that time, but since is that just something that like the Fed just has control over, and like Trump has
Yeah,
nothing to do about it, or what, or what level of influence does he
so
have on that?
yeah, so that's what's very interesting about the Federal Reserve because it's called the Federal Reserve and it has nothing to do with anything federal. It's a completely private organization essentially that can do whatever they want. It's just a board of bank owners, of positions, and they
Board of
determine,
governors.
yeah, they determine what's best for the country. So they decide if interest rates go up, if interest rates go down, if they're going to print more. They claim that the goal is to maintain a 2% inflation rate. But the thing is, if you understand how money and new technology and economics work, things should be going down in price because as we have new technology coming out, right? Let's say a car, for example. When we first started with the first cars, they were only able to make a few at a time because they were made by hand. As technology developed, right, we were able to make more, produce more, then we were mass producing cars where we were making multiple, thousands every day. As that technology grows, it becomes less expensive to produce each item, each unit. So over time, it gets less expensive. It's exact same thing with TVs, with phones, with anything, right? The
Mhm.
problem is they don't like that concept because that means that the people would have more money in savings. They would be able to invest more. They would be able to start more businesses, do more for themselves.
If you think about what you're saying, think about the actual contradiction that is that they don't want people to actually invest and stuff like that. But they tell you to, right? But they really don't want you to invest. And one of the components you were saying about making cars and stuff like that, there's a big component that is overlooked and something that I feel Trump has been trying to correct, going back to his first term and probably even before that, talking about actual production here in the United States.
Mhm.
Right. So I know that we talk about, well, we're going to have to pay American workers. Yeah, okay, that is a cost, but it's actually more. It's more of a. It ends up being more of a cost for us. It sounds like it's cheaper because we're building it in China, right? But then we're paying their tariffs. We're paying everything else. We're paying whatever fucking taxes we have to pay in their country that they do whatever they want in a place like China. Okay, and we got to pay for it to bring it over and stuff like that. So all those costs add back up, and in my opinion, they just kind of cancels
Mhm.
out the so-called reasoning that why we can't build here in the United States, right? Because we end up paying that amount anyway. I'd
Mhm.
rather pay that here in the United States, okay, and it end up being less. Like going to what you were saying, as you mass produce things, it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Because why do companies continue to do research and development? It's because they're always looking
Exactly.
for a new product. They're always looking for a new way to do things better, right?
Mhm.
And then that initial cost may be a little bit expensive, but then, like you said, as you start mass producing, it gets cheaper. If we're actually doing it here in the United States, we're not paying all these extra tariffs that we do in all other countries to bring the shit that we had them building to bring back into the nation.
Exactly. And the thing is,
So
too, I don't think a lot of people are considering, we have a lot of imports coming in, especially from China, but we're just providing tens of millions of jobs for them.
yep,
We're not importing anything there. They don't allow any imports from America. So it's not like it's this equal
and
transaction
there
with us
isn't.
and everybody around the world. That's not how it works.
It's not true fair trade.
Correct.
True fair trade would be two countries trading with one another. Either we're going to have zero tariffs or we're going to have equal tariffs on our products going back and
Mhm.
forth. And we're going to have the same amount of products, okay, and the same, maybe not even the same type, but the same amount of products coming in and out of each other's countries. Scott, you look like
Mhm.
you had something to
So
say, bro.
a few things. Well,
Yeah.
for one, has the U.S. or any country ever had that
What's that?
Fair trade.
fair trade?
Yeah.
Completely, that's what you said. I mean, not just zero tariff for zero tariff, but also equal amounts. It's never been that way.
I don't.
You're
I
never
don't
going to find
know
two countries. You're never going to have two countries supplying each other with,
with 100%
maybe,
equal. Right.
yeah, even if it's not exactly the same product, because you'll never have that.
Hmm.
But like we're never going to supply Brazil with, I don't even know what we would give them, to be honest with it. Potato chips,
Yeah.
enough potato chips to offset the bananas that we're going to import from them. or something
But
like
that's
that.
and
It's just
that's
not going to work that way.
yeah, and that's the point of fair trade, right? Because if one country is exceptional and has the resources to provide certain goods that we don't, that is why we should be working together, right? That is why we trade, because some places have better resources, better technology, better whatever it is to produce that thing, right? Coffee is better from certain countries. You know, if you like beer, beer is for sure better from some certain countries. So whatever it is, like that's real
And
capitalism, where
so
every individual can strive to have the best product and sell it. And the fact that countries can sell to each other is the best opportunity for everyone completely around the world, right? And like you were saying, I don't know if we've ever had a perfect trade system, but I can guarantee that it was much better when we had the gold standard, because what we
Oh,
have now is
100%.
an absolute atrocity.
Oh,
Like
100%.
this is
Eh,
not free trade.
we are also Scott, and you had something else, and then I'll jump in. I'll hold my thought. Go ahead, brother. You were going to say something else.
I was just going to say, because Trump has mentioned this multiple times since January, he has mentioned that companies do have the ability to lower prices right now, but they're not. So
Yeah.
is he telling the truth, or is he just politicking?
I think it depends. I think it's both sides, because we're
I
seeing
think we heard Biden
so
say the same thing, to be honest.
yeah, because we're seeing so much inflation by what the Biden administration did, right? They printed so much, and you're not going to see the
It
consequences of it
it
for a year or two.
yeah, well, they printed so much in such a short amount of time.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Is what it is. Because to be fair, okay, Scott and I have talked about it under the Trump administration. We printed it the first term. They printed a lot of shit there
Hmm.
too.
Hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
under the Biden administration, it was so much so fast. Okay, every time we turned around, there was money going somewhere.
Hmm.
Okay, and it was like we kept complaining about it. But my thought that I was going to bring in talking about trade, what a lot of people don't know because they haven't been taught this, and it's just something they don't teach this shit in school anymore. We are seeing full time and paying for the Marshall Plan. And if you remember the Marshall Plan after World War II, rebuilding all of Europe, okay, we rebuilt all of Europe. That was American money doing that. All right, we bombed it into oblivion, so we rebuilt it. Right, all right. One of the things that came out of that with the Marshall Plan is that we gave them these countries, the European Union, and they have been banking on this since World War II. All right, we gave them essentially the right to fucking tariff us and do whatever they want to get their economies back, right? So they can make money and they can get going. We never adjusted that, right? So this is something that has been in effect since post World War II with the EU alone, and we managed to do that in everywhere else. We just never adjusted that thinking of, hey, okay, it was good. It was meant to be. We're gonna help you out for a little bit of time, and once you hit a certain point, then we got to even things out. We never evened anything out, right? So this is what Trump has been talking about this. I've been talking about it. Scott's been talking about it. You've talked about it. This is something that has been going on since World War II. All right. We are paying for that. All
Hmm.
right. We have paid for the whole world forever. And it's just like that is just we can't sustain that forever. And I
Back
think that's one of the things that Trump has been trying to change with the whole tariff things, where everybody was trying to tell him, don't do tariffs, and they're bitching and crying over that. But he's trying to make shit even because it has not been even for, what's going on freaking 70 years now, 80 years. Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say when I was in grade school, not grade school, when I was like in high school, we're talking like back in the 80s. I remember my teachers telling me, like when I was talking, we were like in history class. I remember even way back then, they were saying, you know, all the U.S. needs to do is call in their debts, and they would like bankrupt the world or whatever. And like
True.
the U.S. is already back then. This is like we're looking like a 40, 50 years ago at this point. That because and this is like what you said, post World War II. They spent a lot of money building. They lent a lot of money. It wasn't just that they spent it; they
Yeah.
supposedly lent it
We did.
to
We lent a
Europe
lot. Yes, we did.
to Europe to rebuild. But I don't know. I don't. And as far as I know, we never called back that debt. We never did. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You
the
know.
but the thing, the unfortunate thing with that is since World War II, and the way that they manipulated money since that time. They don't
Correct. That
want
is
to
a
fix
valid
the
point.
problem because they
Yep.
saw how much money they could make from the wars. Wars prior to that used to be funded by
before World War II, they've realized that.
yeah.
They realized that in time for World War One.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they manipulated the money. They manipulated the currency.
Mhm.
That's honestly the reason that the Big Depression, the worst depression, right, of 1929 happened, and they don't want to talk about what actually caused it. It was the money. It wasn't that some crazy thing happened and people were putting too much money into stocks. It was the currency. It was the banking system that caused it. It caused a collapse. They didn't want to talk about it, and they have been using that exact same pattern of gameplay to collapse everything else.
Yeah.
It's all intentional because they make money off of it.
So they make money in every single way. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Any way
if,
they
if
can.
you yeah when you look at wars that are going on and whether we're involved or it's a proxy war or it's two other countries going at it, we provide both sides with all the ammo, all the military equipment, all the tanks. We provide both of them with resources. And whether they tell us that they are providing all of that and they're pretending to be on the side of one nation, we're still providing both. We're providing money to both sides, we're providing weapons to both sides, and the elites are profiting from those contracts from both sides. This is precisely why every single year since World War II, it seems like we have been in a war because they make money off of it. They don't want to end the wars.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is just a problem, not
That's
even just with the
part of the
US, throughout
reason.
mankind, as the
Part of the
history of
reason
the
why
world.
they hate Trump so much.
Hmm.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
true.
I mean, he maybe whether that's his true intention or not, he talks about that. Talks about ending conflicts more than
Yeah.
any other president that I can
I think
remember.
he's genuine about that, man. His actions,
He
right? We
might
we
be.
talked
He may
about
not. I'm
earlier.
not saying we don't know his intention, but I'm saying the fact that he just says it, that's what pisses them off probably more
It,
than
it,
anything
it,
else. You
but
know.
but I but all we have to do is look at his actions in the end, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's what we
Of
talked
course.
about, right? Like, I think his intentions are sincere. Does that mean, going back to what Frankie said, that he might fucking drop a bomb on you if you tweet him the wrong way? That is something that has people shook, right? Like, they don't
Yeah.
know how he's
Yeah.
going to react, all right, to a certain situation. But I think his actions, what we've seen obviously in these first 10 months, okay, has been like two countries are fighting, let's go stop it.
Hmm.
Another two countries are fighting, let's go stop it. These two countries are fighting, let's go stop it. Because in the end, in his mind, obviously I don't know what's in his mind. I would think, being the businessman that he is, in the end he's like, how do we end up getting money back to the United States? By stopping this. Okay, not only by not funding this shit, but by stopping it and maybe getting people to start trading with one another so that we can benefit as a nation as well with trade. His whole thing has been about trying to make
Hmm.
money for the United States and trying to get money back for the United States. At least that's what I've seen. I
Hmm.
mean, if you're a libtard, you're not going to see that. But like, I see that. I know Frankie's constantly reporting on that shit. She's always looking into this stuff with the money and everything, especially money in the country, how to get money back.
Hmm.
So, and is that a fair assessment, or you think that there's more to it, or I'm way off?
No, I mean, I from surface level, it's what it looks like, and like you said, you don't know what intention someone has, right? But we can only go off of actions and their patterns. You know, during his first administration, we didn't have any new wars. Biden stepped in, and how many countries started going at it because they knew that they could all just walk right over him.
Yeah.
And he came back, and all of a
Weak
sudden,
and
people were ready
ineffective.
to negotiate. So there's a lot. There's you can tell that he's really actively trying to get money back. He's a businessman, whether you like him or not, whether you like his personality, whether you like his businesses, whether you agree with them or not. It doesn't matter. Like, he's coming in with a business mindset. And I think the most important thing, like we said multiple times, he's not perfect. There's going to be things that we don't like. There's going to be things that we are going to criticize. And first off, that should be expected.
Yep.
I start to question people when they are 100%, hey, yeah, Trump knows what's going on. He's the man. He's the man. No, 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 no. he still needs correction. He's
Right.
still a human being.
All
This
the
man
time.
is not Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
the thing to understand, whether we're talking about, domestic policy or foreign policy, every policy is just a list of trade-offs. There is no such thing as a perfect policy. There's no such thing as a
None.
perfect administration. There's no such thing as anything perfect. Every single policy has trade-offs. Everything has pros and cons. If you're taking from one, you to give to another, right? Where are you taking from? Everything
Yeah.
is time and energy. There is no unlimited resources of food, of money, of healthcare. You have to really look at the limited resources that you have and learn how to allocate them correctly to where they're going to be best used for your country, right? You can't tell Montana how to run their food, compared to California, if Montana has to worry about weather and California is over here worrying about something else. You can't dictate the exact same laws everywhere. You have
Yeah.
to look at what
There's
everybody
no,
needs.
nothing is there. There are some things that you can blanket, but most things you can't.
Most
You know,
things you
there are definitely some things that you can take a blanket approach to it, but
hmm
that's not everything. I think 90% of things are just definitely not a blanket approach
hmm
on things. And like you said, what they're worrying about with agriculture in Montana is completely different from what they're worrying about in California.
hmm
Okay. So yeah,
and
I think
and
that's a great that's a great way to put it. You
and
can't be
yeah,
blanketed.
you really can't. And even then, let's say if you do have a policy that has worked great for a few years, something might happen that might disrupt something. Something might
Yeah.
disrupt, the a chain of whatever it is, transportation. So you still have to adjust. You have to be able to be ready, again, being prepared, being ready for whatever situation comes. You always have to have options. You cannot put all of your eggs in one basket. And so going back to this trade-off, right? To bring it to this government shutdown, there's a lot of left versus right. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, it's the other side. This is another distraction. Everything that you see, just understand it's a distraction. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're seeing, just know it's a distraction and you have to dig deeper. You can't just read the headline. You can't just look at a couple of quick points. You have to actually go further. You have to verify the sources. You have to verify the experts that they're claiming they're speaking to, because a lot of times they're not experts at all. A lot of times they're
Right.
just some anonymous people that they're like, hey, yeah, just say you're some whatever and you did this, and that's
Yeah.
how they get away with it, because people don't look further past a few sentences past the headline. So with this government shutdown, great example. The left is claiming that the right shut it down, that they don't care about federal workers, they don't care about all these people. People are losing their benefits. Everyone is losing their mind over SNAP today, right? The
Yeah.
first thing to consider before we even go into why this shutdown happened, look at the level of entitlement programs that we have in this country and how many people are so dependent on it. These should be
Yeah.
programs that are helping people when they are in like real difficult situations, right? We can't get rid of this because things happen. But when people are dependent on it for 5, 10, 15 years, like, bro, you're going to tell me after 15 years you can't get a job? You couldn't
Yeah.
learn one
But
skill to get better?
but that's also by design, right? Like
It is
that is also by
absolutely by
design.
design.
That is all we last time you were on, you heard me say it, you'll hear me say it again. The in- the Marxist infiltration into every institution has been in full effect for over 100 years, okay? We're watching a lot of the Marxist shit play out in real time. And because we as a citizenry, going back to what, like, we have to take responsibility, we as a citizenry have been complacent, okay, for that length of time as well, not paying attention to shit, okay, seeing that things were being taken over, not only just our government, our schools, our churches, everything. We just stood by idly by because, well, we're the United States. Obviously,
Mhm.
it's not anybody on this panel because we pay attention to shit, right? And the people that we hopefully associate with pay attention to shit. Our viewers are true tellers and true seekers, so we get it. It's just that we're just watching that shit play out right now, and it's annoying to me. Going back to what you were saying, if you're fucking worried about what the government could give to you, you're in the wrong game. You're playing the wrong fucking game.
Mhm.
If you're worried about, okay, my government benefits are gonna go away, you have not planned, like you said, and generational thing. It has become a generational to generational bondage slavery. It's financial slavery is what it is.
Absolutely.
People are bonded to the government, okay, because their fucking mom or their grandmom or their great grandmother in some cases now all have been in the system,
Hmm.
right? And it just like, and then topple out with the fact that they're not even getting educated in school on how to balance a checkbook,
Hmm.
what things you can do if you actually have money, the things you're supposed to do so you can get money, okay?
Exactly.
These things and stuff like that, right? That's not even being taught in school
No.
anymore, right? So like you think because everybody's telling you to, now you hear your fucking favorite pastor telling you that because of the color of your skin or the language that you speak, you can't make it anyway. It's tough to make it. So like you've been now it's ingrained in you for generations that you can't succeed, you can't do shit. The American dream is fucking dead. You can't do anything. If you put a little fucking hard work into it, keyword hard work, you can do anything you want in this country.
And that's the thing, the fact that you can't even recognize someone telling you, whether they're your same skin color or not, that you can't do something because of your skin color. How are you not offended by that?
Should be.
Right? And it's such an easy path to take that super victimhood mentality. Like that's not a flex. That is not something to be proud of. And like you said, the fact that it's parents, grandparents, great grandparents that have been on these programs. If this isn't a wake up call for you, I mean, it's only been a couple weeks that we've been
2
shut down.
weeks, 14 days, was it a little bit over 14 days now?
And they've, yeah, they're panicking, and this isn't even a missed payment yet. This is for November 1st, so they
I
haven't
know.
even missed a payment yet. So you technically had some time to kind of think, okay, maybe I can sell some things, maybe I can figure something out, maybe I should start looking for a job, something, right? But you haven't even missed a payment yet, and you are panicking and losing your mind. What happens when the government just decides to go full tyranny and completely says, if you don't do this, you're not getting anything. Good luck. You're going to live under a bridge and you're going to eat bugs on the ground. Like, what's going to protect you then? This is just a temporary thing and you are losing your mind. This should be a wake-up call. And that's the game that they play. Oh, it's the Republicans. Oh, it's the Democrats. Like, listen, it's both of them, first off, because they both allow the system to go and play. So it's not one or the other. But with this specific shutdown, the same thing that I was saying, everything is a distraction. They claim that the reason that they shut down was because Republicans did not want to extend the ACA benefits, right? So there's Medicare, Medicaid, all those things.
Yeah.
So ACA starts November 1st. And those extended benefits are supposed to last until December 31st. So Republicans wanted to, they didn't want to necessarily make those benefits permanent. So they wanted to just readjust. Hey, what programs can we just kind of trim down a little bit so that way we have more funds for this over here, reallocating those resources, right? Because we don't have unlimited funds. And the left decided, oh, well, this is a great political opportunity for us. Let them shut it down and then we can blame them. So, right now, the entire left is going off saying, well, Republicans shut it down. They don't care about people not getting their food stamps. They're happy in their homes, yada, yada. What they don't want you to know is that they have already voted. I think it's already been 12 times.
12
The
times.
last vote was on the 22nd, and it was
Yeah.
predominantly Democrats who voted no
Yeah.
on the bill to move forward.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
who's really stopping? Who's
Only
really preventing the government from
I think
saying no?
we've gotten
Very obvious.
three. Yeah, it's very obvious. I think we've gotten three Democrats to actually come over that now have
Mhm,
consistently voted with the Republicans to
Yeah.
reopen, not only reopen, but just
You
keep
can't.
moving. Because we're
mhm,
still in the filibuster stage with this shit. Okay. We're not even voting on anything yet. It's still
mhm.
a filibuster
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will say this, it's not working for them the way they thought it was.
no,
Okay. It's not playing out the way they think.
You can't say that the other side is the one that doesn't want to reopen the government when you're the side that keeps voting no.
Yeah.
You
but they
can't.
hide
But
that.
that's because that's what the media says, and that's what they keep parroting, and that's what their social media influencers keep parroting, and their voter and their base just sits there and nods, with the drool coming out of their mouth, saying, "Haha, okay, uh-huh," with no discernment and no
No
analysis of
discernment.
anything. And if you try to tell them that, they just, oh, well, you're racist.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's listen.
That's the way it is.
I'm gonna continue to play Operation Let Them Speak, and continue to let them die on those stupid ass hills that they keep wanting. You guys remember Jurassic Park? That big fucking pile of triceratops dung. They keep climbing up that hill and then they sink into it. Just I'm gonna continue to let them do that because, like I said, it's not having the
Yeah.
effect on Republicans that they thought it was gonna have. Even CNN, okay, is now starting to badger them about it and stuff like that. CNN, the Communist News Network, is obviously starting.
Right.
Hey guys, this isn't looking good for us. We need to get this moving again.
Mhm.
Trying to warn them like they always do. We're giving you a heads up, guys, that from what we see, it's not working in your
Yeah.
favor.
Right.
Little subtlety here and there, but they're not listening. I'm okay with that. Let them speak. Continue to let them fucking die in
Mhm.
them hills.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Because they're on the wrong side. They're on the wrong side of so many issues that are just like obvious wrong sides to be on,
I mean,
And that's
uh,
why I, I don't think they're going to really do well in the midterms next year. But we have to obviously have to keep pushing that message out. But they're on the wrong side of a lot of bad issues.
and
This is
people
going to
are
be
waking.
one of them.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see the shift, and I think now we're just at a point where we need to just keep reminding people it's also not just, hey, vote Republican and you're good, everything is
Yeah.
solid, you can
Yeah. No,
chill,
absolutely not.
because that's also not the
No.
case. Because we've got bad players on both sides, and
Oh
we
yeah.
don't know what's
Of
going to
course.
happen in the next election. So again, you have to be prepared, and you have to be vigilant, and you have to have discernment. You have to know how to read through things, right? Read through the lines, know when you're being lied to. Um, and that's like right now is the time. Right now is the time for you to learn how to do that. Learn how to read through the news cycle, learn how to go through the BS, know what's important, what's not, what's a distraction, know when they're just tugging at your little heartstrings. That all shows everything. It's very easy to tell who's lying, who's being sincere, when things are actually moving, when things, just take a little bit longer, like when we were talking about trade, right? There's things with businesses and costs and prices that do cause a lot of fluctuation in prices, right? If costs change, you have to adapt. If there's disruption in, getting materials that you need, that's going
Yeah.
to
In
mess
your
up the
supply
cost too.
chain, yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, and that's something I think a lot of people, like if you haven't had a business, it's harder to understand, but there's so much that goes into it because you also have to understand, the scarcity and how that plays into cost and price. Because if you have less items and it's a high in demand product, people are going to pay more, which is going to affect the price, right? And if other industries start seeing that, okay, well, if they were able to raise the price, maybe we can raise it up a little bit more to be able to get this. So then they all start raising the price. And it's again, it's that trade off with different policies. It's exactly the same when it comes to price and cost. Um, like I'm also not a big fan. I know Trump has been writing on this since his first administration, and Biden kind of was trying to take credit, but like capping prescription drugs. And I understand that pharmaceuticals love to make money, right? That's such a deceitful, disgusting industry. Um, but capping medicine, for example, or I think probably the best example, let's say if there's a natural disaster and there's a couple hotels or smaller hotels nearby, if they place a law where they are not allowed to raise their prices, right? So that way it's fair. It's a policy with good intentions, but it doesn't always have the best results. Because if you displace an entire town and now an entire town is looking for a place to stay, but the prices stay the same and they're super cheap, now it's just first come first serve, and you're not allowing everyone kind of like an equal opportunity. Like you need something to what's the word I'm looking for? Like you need something to kind of balance it out. Because let's say if every room is $50 and you've got a family of, 5 kids, and that family gets there first, all right, cool. So I'm going to have a room for me and your mom, and then each of the kids can have a room. And now they've got 6 rooms that are being occupied at that hotel because they happen to just arrive there first. So now a few other families make it the next day. Now they don't have as many rooms, right? Because this first family took up the other rooms. If they operate off of actual free trade capitalism with supply and demand, they can raise the prices a little bit to kind of even it out. That first family is going to say, hey, the prices are a little bit higher. We're going to put a few kids here and a few kids here. Now they're only occupying 2 rooms, which gives more opportunity for other people to use that resource, right? It's exactly the same with rent controlled in New
They're
York.
just they're
Yeah,
just chasing their that's the problem with government trying to legislate the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you just said, the rent control, that's just like the biggest joke in the world because they never and I hate to say it, it's usually Democrats that are trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always Democrats.
Where
Oh,
Not,
yeah.
not usually. It's
I
always
don't know
Democrats.
because I'm saying that because I don't know offhand about Republicans that try to do that, but
Pretty
it's
sure
always
we've had
seems to
some
be like a
idiots on our side do
Democrat.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it's just the Democrats, but I just feel like it's almost always like and when someone like Mamdani says, "Oh, we're just going to have rent control with this,"
Mm-hmm.
it's just the dumbest thing. I mean, do they not think that these landlords are just going to be like, okay, well, we're just going to implement finder's fees or other, utility fees each month, or a new water surcharge or something like that. They're going to get their money one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
They have no concept, or at least on the surface, again, because they're voters, don't think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they just think, oh well, look at what stupid guy in Chicago's doing, the mayor. He wants to implement what is it? An employee tax on big businesses. He's going to say each employee you have, you're going to owe an additional like $1,500
Yeah.
tax or something like that each year. I don't know if that's the exact number, but it's something like
It's
that.
probably something
And if
ridiculous like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's
yeah,
probably something
so of
ridiculous
course
like
you
that.
got big businesses there with tens of thousands of employees. Do the math. Are they going to stick around?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, obviously the business owners are fighting it, but if he pushes it through, and of course the city council will just be like, "Yep, okay," and the voters there who just
Yeah.
vote Democrat will say, "Yep, okay,
Mm-hmm.
vote blue,"
And
and then
I
they'll
think
wonder why they hollow it out like a
Oh,
Detroit, where
it-
all the businesses just go away, and they're
yeah,
like, "What happened? Oh, it's MAGA's fault."
exactly. And I think the
oh,
problem is every time they throw out a policy to implement, they're just looking at the policy, but they're not looking at the consequences of that policy. Like what is going to be the result of that policy?
I,
Because
I,
Mhm.
this started in California, right? Oh, we want a higher minimum wage, higher minimum wage. How dare
yeah,
you
that well
not
that
give us a
Thank
livable
you.
wage? You
Exactly.
okay,
raised
Yep.
it
but
to
what happened?
$20,
But what happened with that,
and
right? Like
how
all
many
these
people lost their jobs?
not only that, fucking McDonald's went
Hours.
automated and started opening up automated with like
Hmm.
robots and shit, like delivering shit, stuff like that. Will save a whole bunch of money without it's a dumb thing. I just want to mention one thing about the pharmaceuticals, okay? Because
Right.
I personally from my reading and everything like that, but you've delved into a lot of this way more than me probably, okay? I don't think he wants to necessarily cap what the pharmaceutical companies are selling. I think it's because it is what they sell the same product in
Hmm.
other countries. He wants the same pricing, essentially,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
it's not so
Favored
much as a
nation.
cap,
Favored nation
Hmm.
clause.
Yeah.
right? So it's like I don't know if he's like, well, no, you
That
can't sell
seems
this.
fair.
That
Hmm.
to me seems fair, more fair than like you said, saying you can't sell this past. This pill you're selling it for $100 pill, you can only sell it for $10 a pill. Yeah, I get that,
Hmm.
right? But I think what he's looking for is whatever you're charging fucking Great Britain for the same product, you should be charging us. That you should be charging us the same thing, right?
Hmm.
You're charging them $10 a pill for this product, but you're charging us $400 a pill.
Right.
So I think to me that's what I gather. If I'm wrong, by all means, just
It's called
No,
meeting.
that's
It's called meeting them halfway. I think.
yeah, no,
I think
that's
it's meeting
correct.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct because it should be fair. It should be fair pricing, which is another thing that's happening now, right? I'm sure you've heard of the dynamic pricing policy that they're implementing in a few businesses.
Yeah.
and prices will change. It's already happening overseas. They're working on it here. It's already happened here, and people don't realize it. It's the easiest example is at the airport, right? If you're at the airport and you need some water, you're gonna have to pay $10 for a 50-cent bottle of water
Yeah.
because you have no other choice.
Right, because
So
they make you
it's
dump they make
Isn't
you
Walmart?
dump the water you have coming in,
mhm,
okay, and you have to fucking buy it on the other side of security.
yeah.
Isn't Walmart or Target doing that?
I think they've already started in some places. Yeah, they're
Like
in
they
testing.
if they're yeah, if like a certain item becomes like if certain item starts to like diminish on the rack or something like that, then the price actually bumps up a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Like
wild.
literally, it's literally simple as that. Not that they, or maybe they don't have enough in the stock in the back, but as the if the demand is like making it shrink from supply, the
Hmm.
price actually goes up a little bit. It goes up a little bit until they can restock the shelf, I guess,
Yeah,
or
and there
the
was a
storeroom.
store. I
It's
can't
crazy.
remember which one it was, but they were announcing that they were considering implementing this dynamic pricing to help certain communities. So if you
It's
were,
always identity
yeah,
politics,
always,
always identity
always.
politics.
Always, always. And
Yep.
so this backlash came out. They were saying, how are you going to charge me double just because of like, you don't know what I make, you don't know what I'm going through, you don't know if
It's
I just
illegal.
lost a job. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
illegal.
illegal. There are
Yeah,
laws in place to prevent that.
yeah. And they had some terrible backlash. I wish I could remember what store it was, but it was I believe it was here in the US, and they decided, "Oh, so we decided to not test out this new
Yeah.
policy."
Well,
I'm sure.
what about okay, simple I forgot I forget the business. I know it was out in California somewhere where I believe that Jonathan, you'll have to look this up. I don't know if I'm correct on this. I know it was a woman-owned business, and I think they were going to be charging men more money for some shit or something like that, and they
Oh,
went
that sounds
bankrupt. And
familiar.
It
they
was a
went
coffee
bankrupt.
shop.
There you go. What was it? What was it,
Wasn't it?
Scott? What was?
It was a
Yeah, I think it was
coffee
a car.
shop. They said that they were going to be charging men more. They were going to be
Right.
charging white people more,
There
and
you
they were
go.
going to be literally like it was almost like that whole whatever you call it, that like hierarchy of pain or something like that,
Oh
or
my
you know,
god.
and they literally had a price, and they didn't just say they were doing it; they literally put it on a chalkboard. They said
Yeah.
this is what coffee is going to cost, and if you were like a black trans disabled person or something like that, then I think it might have been free. And then if you were like just black and trans, it was like $1. And then if you were white and trans, it was like $2. And if you were a white straight male, it was like 450.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Here, like
the
Jonathan.
community, the community just said no.
Here, fucking Jonathan. And this was in Australia, but I'm pretty sure this happened out in Cali too. This is
Hmm.
here we go. Cafe that charged a man tax and gave women priority seating is going out of business.
Hmm.
Oh, womp
Oh,
womp womp.
I think I remember that one too. And I think
Here
the
we go. Wait a
owner,
minute, guys. Wait a minute, guys. It
dude,
gets even better. Here we go.
the
A
owner blamed
lesbian
men
owned
though for
Oh,
a lesbian owned vegan coffee shop in Brunswick,
yep.
Australia. Okay, so so we know why exactly they were doing that. All right, it was all about
But
holy shit.
the fact that she came out and blamed men for her going out of business after she did that is just like she's completely
listen,
just
listen. Scott, the thing is, you need to understand when movies tank in the theaters, it's because people are racist. If their cafe
Oh,
didn't succeed, it's the fault of men.
nobody takes accountability for
I'm
anything they
telling
do.
you.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
Listen,
the,
I'm waiting. I'm
by the
waiting
way,
for the day. I'm waiting for the day that these feminists come out because they all claim we don't need men, we don't need this.
mhm,
Listen, I'm waiting for you guys to join the construction workers on the street. I'm
They're not
waiting
gonna
for
do it.
you guys to go join, like where are they?
the
You're sitting
janitors
you're
and the ditch
sitting here
diggers and
Yeah, who's
fighting
gonna?
for your
Yeah,
equal rights and you're sitting here
yeah,
making coffee.
yeah.
Get out
you know
of
what?
Let's put them in the
Who
sewers.
was
Let's
it?
put them in the sewers and fix fucking sewer piping underneath there where roaches and shit like that and rats are running all over you and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see them do that.
Yeah.
Cannot.
Yeah.
I think
I want to see
honestly, I
I want
think
to see these
Charlie Kirk
feminists
was
lay down some carpet.
honestly I think Charlie Kirk was one of the ones who kind of spearheaded that whole talk about you know they, like you'd have like a feminist get up and they'd be like, we want equal rights, and he'd be like, well, yeah, let's make it equal.
Yeah.
And I've actually said this to people. It's like, when they say, do you believe in women's rights or equal rights? I'm like, yep. I think women should go to prison more. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think women should die at a younger age. That's equal.
Yeah.
I think women
Holy
should
shit.
get heart disease more. I think women should get heart disease more. That would be equal.
Suicide rates.
Yeah.
I think women should be. I think more women should be homeless. That's equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
all of
would
a
be
sudden the
fair.
conversation turns to be like, oh, wait a minute, we don't want equality. We just want stuff.
Equity. They don't want equality. They want equity. They want to take people's stuff. They want to take from others. Okay, because it's never about equality. Because if it was actually about equal, and you actually had the equal results, you will see fucking sandwiches being made left and right. Okay, if they actually had to jump into a freaking, yeah, guys, seriously, yeah, like you just said,
Suicide's a
it,
big
it,
one.
it would be insane. Okay,
Yeah.
it would be absolutely insane. People would be running. Oh, I'll tell you what. You want to see fucking sandwiches being made in a heartbeat? We're gonna actually institute a draft for women. You have to sign up for the draft like men
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
Okay, they'll be running. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro. They'll be running to make fucking Cuban sandwiches and ham and cheeses in a fucking heartbeat. They'd be like with a
And
press
homemade
in the
bread.
kitchen, like
Homemade
this, with a
bread.
press in the kitchen, making Cubano sandwiches and shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Oh
It
yeah.
just in a
You know
fucking
what?
heartbeat.
Jay reminded us of another point. That's true. When they had the Survivor on TV, they separated the men and the women into different groups, and they said, I don't know if it was Survivor or it was a different show, but I
It
remember
was Survivor.
was it Survivor?
It
But
was
they
Survivor.
ended up having it, and like the men ended up having to help the women. And I don't remember. I don't remember the reason because I didn't watch it, but I just remember the whole article about it. But they had to help them because either they couldn't do what the men did, or they just were not able to start fires on their own or something like that, or they were too arguing too much to like accomplish anything. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, all I know is
things like
they
that.
needed the
Although there's
dudes to go fucking. They needed
Go
dudes to do it,
hunt.
right?
Go
Yeah.
that's not
kill.
to say women can't do it. I'm sure there's some women
They,
survivalists out there that would
they,
wipe the floor
but
with me if we were out in the
but
middle of
see,
nowhere. I'm not a
it
survivalist, but
bro, it's not even that, man. I was in construction management fucking 10 years. I worked for one of the biggest GMs, fucking in the country. Okay, we had women. We had women who worked as in general contract and we had in the trades there were women, but it still was overwhelmingly men.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not
yeah.
that they don't go into these positions and stuff like that, but it's like, all right, 1% of them, it's still 99% dudes, so and they go out of their way to actually try to hire women, right? They do the DEI shit. Okay, and in construction, though, I will say they were actually trying to hire women with like fucking who were engineers. They were going to STEM stuff and everything like that. They were trying to get women who actually can do the job and stuff. So it wasn't like they were just, I'm gonna take some random chick off the street who has a fucking gender study degree and put her behind a set of drawings and be like, figure this shit out. Okay, they were trying to get women who could actually. So like they were making a concerted effort to get women. Women weren't taking these jobs.
Mhm.
They don't take these jobs. Okay, they don't do it.
Biggest
They just
difference is
don't.
the
It's
biggest difference is the physical aspect. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I mean, unless you have like a real like soy boy who can't fucking press a
yeah.
freaking 20 pounds or something like
We
that.
had those too.
But honestly, that's one of the things too. I've said to them, you know what? If see, we go. This is obviously usually going to go into women's sports and all the bullshit we're dealing with that right now. But I asked somebody. I've actually not one person. I've asked this many people when they say like the female and the male like tennis players. Why don't they get paid the same? Right?
Yeah.
And for one I would say just lump them all together in one big pool. Let them fight it out against each other, and let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
for me, I said to them, the thing I always ask is like, well, how come the women don't play as many sets as the men?
Yeah.
Why do they play 2 out of 3 instead of 3 out of 5? And no one's ever been able to give me an answer. And I
Yeah.
said, no, there's an answer.
Mhm.
It's a simple answer
Very
because
simple
it's
answer.
too much for the women to do that. I mean, for them to go through a whole tournament and do 3 out of 5, it would be too physically taxing on them.
And the
Yeah.
thing is,
It's a
like, there's
simple answer.
nothing.
It's nothing to be
Yeah, there's
ashamed of.
nothing
It's not.
shameful of that.
Yeah,
Well,
they're just they're built different, and that's why they shouldn't be competing against one
bro,
another, and that's
who
fine.
was it? was it Serena? I don't even like her. She's a racist and
Serena
everything. But
Williams.
but
Mhm.
even Serena Williams fucking came out and was like, because she was on one of the late night shows and like, well, why don't you do
Yeah.
like a charity event or something? Like, why don't you play against the men? She was like, because it would be like a 5 minute fucking game, and I'd
Mhm.
lose
She
fucking.
admitted they'd
They would
kick her
work the
Yeah,
ass.
she was
floor.
like,
Yeah, they
yeah, I'd
would
lose
work the
six.
floor with her.
She's like, yeah, it'd be like six. I get 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. She was
Mhm.
like, no. She was like, the game would last. The match would literally
Yeah.
last like 5 minutes. It'd be over.
Yeah.
You
So you know
know,
what? Even at her
it's
peak, though, I believe that somebody like Serena or her sister, I bet you at their peak,
Venus.
they could probably beat the 100th ranked guy in the world. I bet you they
Actually,
probably could.
actually, she said
I'm not surprised.
she actually pulled up the like the 100th or 1,000th fucking rank guy and said that his fucking his serve was like 100 miles per hour faster than her. She would never be able to hit it. She admitted to
Well,
that.
see,
She was
I
like,
was actually thinking she might.
And
listen,
but
she
that's crazy to think the 100th. You have to say no to the other 99 to be able to maybe possibly have a chance
against the 100th
Right.
ranked dude.
against a 100th ranked dude.
Right.
Like if
But
that
against
doesn't tell you something, and she's like
So,
top.
if it was a guy like Pete Sampras or Roger Federer or something like that,
yeah,
they probably wouldn't win a point. Not, and that's not a slight
yeah.
against her. It's just those they're not the women aren't smashing 100-mile-an-hour serves. They're just
Yeah.
not.
It's just
Listen,
not. I mean, maybe some
if I
like
got on the court with Serena, she'd ace me every single serve. So like, I can admit that because I don't play tennis. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even know the fucking first thing to do with tennis. I like watching it, okay, but she would kick my ass. I can admit that. But like, she's genuinely admitted. She's like, no. She was like she literally named somebody. He was like, he's ranked like number 100. His serves like 100 and something miles per hour. I'd never be able to hit it.
Right.
yeah.
You know.
But what's happened
And
over
it's
the
just
years, you have if anybody says that though, like say like John McEnroe,
yeah.
who's a, obviously former player now, analyst. Anytime he brings it up, it's like, oh, how could you say that?
Yeah.
That's so inappropriate for you to say. These women are
How,
really good
how
tennis
dare you?
players.
How dare you?
How dare
Touching
you?
my pearls.
Stolen my childhood dreams.
Jonathan brought up a good point. How many times have we watched the fucking U.S. women's soccer team, go up against 15-year-old boys and get absolutely scraped? They get
Demolished.
absolutely scraped. They get and
Annihilated.
then
That's embarrassing. That's
Did you
embarrassing.
see the ones that they went up against? I don't know if it was the Britain or
it
Australian
was the
team. They
British
went up
dudes. It
against.
wasn't even, it was dudes. They like literally went up against dudes. They lost like 300 to zip.
They went up. They went up against the current active female team. They went up against like a bunch of retired
Yes.
players, like in their 40s,
older players.
old
Is
got
it
dudes that
dusted.
couldn't
is it
even make the
bad?
guy's team, and they got
Is it
smashed
bad?
like 9-0.
I
Yes,
would
they
honest
got
that would
wrecked.
probably be the one game that I watch just because it would be so entertaining to see them
Yeah.
get
It's on
annihilated.
YouTube. It's on
Yeah, I
YouTube.
would
That's on
watch
YouTube.
Go
that.
find
yeah.
it.
I would watch that
You
with
can,
a bowl of popcorn
Mhm.
and just enjoy
dude.
it.
It's like when I hear these WNBA shitheads talking about we want to make as much as the NBA, and I'm like, I would put any one of your professional teams against the top fucking boys team, okay, in any state, and you will get absolutely wrecked. You'll be getting
Yeah.
dunked. You'll have fucking people's balls in your face as they're dunking over you and everything like that. It's like it's like I don't even want to hear it. It's like
You know
any
what?
15-year-old team will fucking a junior varsity team would absolutely destroy you.
Yeah.
I
But it
would
goes
love.
back. Go ahead, Scott.
Look at
No,
you.
I was just
Scott's
gonna
gonna.
say I would. He knows I'm gonna say. I actually would love if the NBA actually had. This is the one example where I wish the NBA would have a rule that they had to have like a female member on the team,
Oh God.
and just to see what they could or couldn't do, because I want to see if anybody of them could score. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if they could,
I
I
I,
don't
I
know.
just
But I would love to
yeah.
see it, just to see them, because honestly, I think most of the time they'd probably just be shut down so much, like Eric said, that I think it would just be embarrassing. And
Yeah.
I'm
And again,
sorry, they can't.
it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it's
No,
not.
We're
they're
just
just
not
different.
built the same. We are not
It's just
built the
it's
same.
nothing to be. Listen, I know if I can't play basketball if my life depended on it. I'm too fucking short anyway. But I know that any WNBA chick would absolutely destroy me on the court. I know that. I
Of
fucking
course,
because I can't play basketball. You know what I'm
because we're
saying?
not professionals.
Yeah.
Right. But like if you're on the same you want to see the perfect example is CrossFit. Okay, if you look at the men and the women, okay, there's like, fucking in the running events, there's a couple of women that just outrun the dudes. But when you look at the strength, okay, it is completely different. Like if you're doing one set of, you're doing fucking something, the men will have to do like 100 pound, 100 and something pounds, and the women will do 75 in the same event
Hmm.
because they just can't put up the same amount of weight for the same amount of time,
Hmm.
okay, as the men do. Right, so like they're even in that, in something where these are the fittest women that I've ever seen. Okay, they will fucking crush shit. Okay, but they just can't keep up with the men that they do. There are some, like I said, there are some of them that can outrun a lot of the men and stuff like that because muscle weighs fucking way heavier. You get tired faster when you're muscular and stuff like that. But they're better runners and stuff like that. But when you put them in this strength, you put them in a strength event, they're not putting up the same amount of weight. It's just not gonna happen.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not even the amount of training that you do, how you eat. You could have perfect genetics. It's just
Yes.
not going to happen. Your skeletal system is different, your muscular system is different.
Oh,
Just the level of testosterone alone is so
Just the center of gravity is different.
absolutely. And then the range of motion that you have, right? Like you can
Mm-hmm.
it's so different. Just you could have two guys that train exactly the same, eat the same genetics, and one could be a little bit taller and the other one a little shorter, but have like different range or flexibility in his legs, and one is going to demolish the other guy
yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the way that they're built. And if there's that much of a gap in difference in men, what do you think it's going to be between men and women?
Yeah,
It's not
it's
even
true.
close. It's not
It's
even
true.
close.
Just the advantage of somebody like even depending on the sport, like you said, like even like on Michael Phelps, when he would get out there and go swimming, dude, he was like I don't even know how tall he was. What was he like 6'6"
So,
or
yeah, he was
something like
tall, dude.
ridiculous
Yeah,
like
but
that?
it was his
Just by the
wingspan, his arm
Yeah.
length, his
his
wingspan was
arms
it
were
was
so
fucking
long,
huge. Yeah,
he seriously could reach for the fucking wall before the other dude half the time, and he'd win just because he freaking
yeah,
he could get to the end and then turn around and come back. You know that he
absolutely
hits the
insane.
he jumps out and he's hitting the water just a foot beyond everybody
What's
else.
going on,
That's
Cass? Good to see you,
advantage.
honey. Yeah, it again, it's just admit it. I mean, again, we
Yeah,
see it in
Phelps
real
was
time, right?
insane.
Like since we merged the infantry, for instance, in the U.S.
Hmm.
military with the Marines and the Army, okay, the Marines did a study literally like a year ago, I think it was, and they literally had a mixed unit and they had an all men's unit, and the all men's unit absolutely fucking crushed them in everything.
Right.
Okay, and the mixed unit just couldn't keep up. It was like it
Mhm.
just knew that was going to happen anyway. And again, it's not that, like Scott said, it's not that there aren't some women who can actually do it. Okay, that is a thing. You can't deny that. That
Hmm.
there's some women that are just fucking superhuman. They could do it,
Mhm.
and more power to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you can meet the standards, okay, which is why this
Well,
whole thing with Pete Hegseth, he caught a lot of shit. Okay,
Yeah.
when for combat arms in particular, he's like, there's one standard, and we're not closing it to women. Okay, but if you don't meet that standard, then you don't meet the standard. It's just that. It's that simple.
Mhm.
You gotta
but
be in
did you hear?
shape. You can't be a fat slob.
But when
Yeah.
they had the mixed units, though, did you also hear too that it actually affected the guys' performances in those units
It did.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
because
It absolutely did.
they
It
were
absolutely did.
actually
It lowers their
concerned.
standards.
Well, it lowered their standards, not so much the standards, but it lowered their performance because they were actually looking out for the
Yeah,
women that were in their unit, and it
they were
actually
trying
made them
desperately to
less
help them.
effective.
Yeah,
Right.
it
It
made
made
them
them
less
less
effective
effective
because correct.
because their
Yeah.
attention wasn't on task.
And
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like what's sad about it is that it all comes down to pride, right?
mhm.
Because they're so prideful, because they want to show that they're, special and they can do all of these things. Like, listen, no one is saying that you're not capable of some amazing accomplishments, but this isn't it. And if you're going to place your pride over safety, right? When it comes to
Right.
if you want to play games, whatever, but especially when it comes to the military, this is literally life and death. This is the protection of our country. You are protecting your family, your children, the guy or girl next to you. If you have so much pride that it's more important for you to be on this co-ed team to prove yourself, and now you're basically the weakest link in your team, you're more susceptible to getting hurt. The entire team is more susceptible to failing because you can't put you can't put your pride aside.
Yeah.
And it says it right
Because
in the Bible, right? Like fall comes right after pride.
yeah, and it's again, it's not that plenty of women in the military are absolutely in phenomenal shape.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's not like there aren't some women that can handle the standards, and they will. There will be women
Mhm.
that can handle the
Absolutely.
standards. Period.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's going to drop. It is going to drop considerably the amount of women that are in combat arms, because like he changed the standards. This is just in the Army. The Marine Corps never changes the standards. Like they adjust them here and there and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's always hard. But in the Army, there are two set of standards right now at this moment. There are the combat arms standards. You have to be like at a certain percentile. You just have to meet it. And then
Mhm.
there's everybody else. So like he
Yeah.
even took that into effect that the people who aren't training like combat arms, okay, like the infantry, like operators and stuff like that, they took that into consideration. But even there, they're like, you have to still meet a standard. You can't be a
Mhm.
fat piece of shit. Okay.
Exactly.
Then they pulled all the freaking leaders. All right, everybody who was wondering what was going to happen and all this other stuff. World War III is going to start. All they brought them together to tell them was we can't be a fat fuck anymore. Okay, these are the standards now.
Yeah.
If you're going to be leading, you have to lead from the front. You can't be a
Right.
fat bastard anymore, even if you have 4 stars on your fucking lapel.
And
Okay,
what's
you absolutely
wild
must be able to. Yeah,
is that
it just like
anyone is even offended by that concept.
it's just insane.
That's what's
And
crazy to me. You should be at the peak of everything. Peak mindset, peak, right? Like intelligence, peak physical performance, peak everything. You are a leader. You are not just some random kid in high school, let's say, that's just, you know, jerking off over here in class. Like you're a general and leading
Mhm.
armies, and you're going to be upset and offended because someone says, "Hey, we have standards and we're going to keep them.
yeah,
And if you don't meet
right.
those standards, you got to go."
Yeah, and it goes back to what he was saying in the beginning before he even got confirmed about, he wrote a book on it. He went on tons of podcasts about warrior ethos and
Mhm.
bringing that mindset back to the military. Okay, because the
Mhm.
reality in the military, we only should be worried about one thing, and you know what that is? Absolute fucking destruction. That
Mhm.
is the only thing we should be worried about. All
Yep.
right, and in order to commit absolute destruction, we need to be at the peak fucking mental, peak physical.
Mhm.
Okay, everything has to be it just has to be cohesive, right?
Mhm.
Like you got to have your shit together, but we should only be worried about absolute destruction, right?
Yep.
Like,
Right.
it's just insane, when you see these fat bodies running around. Okay, listen, I let myself go. I'm still a fat body, but I've lost a shit ton of weight. Okay, with that said, I wasn't a fat body in the military though. Okay, and fucking, there was no way anybody who was junior than me was gonna fucking make me look like a shitbird. It just wasn't gonna happen. All right. How could I, in my right mind, tell somebody to do something, one, that I wouldn't do, or two, that I wouldn't do first? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to lead from the front, and that is what we're used to having in our military. That went away for quite some time. Under the Trump's first term, he was bringing some of that back. Biden fucked it all up again.
Mhm.
Okay, because it started really actually started going back to Clinton, but Obama did some serious damage with our military and stuff like that, and with leadership and these fucking career idiots.
He did
Okay,
damage
who didn't
before
belong.
that.
What's that?
He did damage in the education system
Yeah, he
with the
absolutely
whole
just took Common
with the whole
Core.
Common Core
He did a
bullshit.
lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you?
he did a
You know
ton
what?
of damage.
There was there was a reporter on the street, and I wish I could remember who it was, but it was in I think it was in New York City. He was on the street, and he would actually he did this one uh, video where he was walking up to young girls,
Was it
and he
Jesse
was
Waters before he had his thing when he used to do shit for Bill
definitely
O'Reilly,
wasn't
the
definitely
man on
wasn't
the street?
Jesse. Nope. No. No, this guy, I didn't know who he was. He was a
Okay.
young kid, and he was asking girls he was just asking them a simple question: what do you think men can do better than women?
They probably
And
all said nothing.
you know what most of their response was?
Nothing.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're gonna die. Their response was
Yeah.
they started crying.
Wait, what?
What?
They
Wait, what? Wait,
started
what?
crying. Multiple girls started crying, and he didn't even expect the response. He was like kind of, and then he'd look at the camera like, uh.
What did
He
I just?
What's
simply
happening?
asked the question, what do men do better than women?
Why
And
did
Right.
they
so
start crying?
the entire the only thing he could come from it was that these women were so brainwashed into thinking I can do everything, or I'm better than, you know, how like young girls are a lot of times they're built up to be like, you're better than any man out there. You can do
Yeah.
anything they can do. You're better than what they can do. And these were like young girls, probably like in college or something like that, you know, that age. And they
Yeah.
literally couldn't, they none of them could answer, but like multiple ones actually started tearing up, just trying to think of what a man could do better.
Right.
That's
I
wild.
don't, I, I
That's
don't
wild.
understand. I was just like, that's crazy. But you have to be taught to be, that has to be something ingrained in your head, you know, the power of
Yeah.
propaganda or whatever, that you can't even just concept of like, of course of course there's things they can do better. But I know there's things that women can do better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why is that so hard to say?
And just to
Right.
have such an emotional reaction, I mean, it's one
Mhm.
thing to say, oh, you know what, I can't think of anything. If it's, like on an intellectual level, right? You
Mhm.
can be more on a level playing field, perhaps, but it should
Of
be easy
course.
to say, well, a guy can do this. I might not be able to, play basketball as well or something, but to have that level of like a traumatic emotional
It's
reaction
crazy.
is
Yeah.
wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, that's just insane. Like, I mean, think about the level of
It's the
insanity, and
weirdest
like you
thing to
said,
see.
the level of brainwashing. I would
Mhm.
probably freak out. Like, whoa, 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 hold on. I didn't mean to make
Yeah,
you
This
he was
cry or
person,
trying.
nothing like
yeah,
that. Like,
I
what
And he
the
was
played
hell?
the
saying it in the
question.
nicest he was saying in the nicest way. He wasn't like some Andrew Tate being like, "Well, what do you
Nah.
think?" Like in your face or something like that. He's like, "Well, I just asked a question." And then like the girlfriend on the side was just like, Don't be so harsh with your question." He's like, "I just asked a
That was a
question."
Harsh.
Like,
basic question.
Bro, didn't you? Was it? I think it was you who posted something like that too. With about it was like the girl kept saying it's your questioning, and it's like the way you're questioning, and he's like, but what did I
today,
say? That was today,
today,
right? It was like he's like, but
yeah,
what did I say? He was like,
because
wait, what did?
he asked this girl a question on the street. It was on my feed, and
Hmm.
the girl's response was, "Well, you're being very misogynistic." So
Yes,
then
and
he
he's like, well,
asked
what does
her,
that mean?
"What does misogynistic mean?" And she
Silence.
literally didn't know. She was just like,
Yeah,
so she
she had to
goes like
ask her
this to
friend,
her girlfriend,
and
and then they
her
turn.
friend's
She's
on the
like,
Trying to
phone,
phone a
fucking,
friend. Hey, what does this
and
mean?
her friend is googling it too, and shit like that. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? What am I
and then it
watching?
turned, yeah, and then it turned into, well, it's not the way, it's not what you're saying, it's the way you're saying it. You're being very
Yeah,
combative, and you're asking this line of questioning to get a reaction out of
Yeah.
us.
It's
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 like,
a
no,
very targeted question. You're targeting
I
people with
think
that
she said
question.
that. I think
Yeah.
she said
and she
targeted
probably,
Yeah.
I
question.
think
Yeah.
she probably, you know what? We're gonna find that, and we're gonna review this shit together. Hang on, I'm gonna find that.
So
I think it was
Like,
the
while
first
you're
one I
looking,
posted today.
yeah,
yeah,
while
yeah,
you're looking for that, I had a quick note just to add to the military thing.
sure,
Yeah.
So I think this is another level that people really don't think about on a strategic level, because first off, I think everyone should read the Art of War, right? For several reasons. But if you have a military that is not in peak performance, that is not in the top of their game, are not just intellectually at their peak, right? How are we going
Mhm.
to be viewed by other nations? That is the absolute most dangerous thing you can do to a country. So when this whole thing under Biden was happening with, well, we got to let trans come in and we got to let this, you got to give them an opportunity. Listen, I don't care where you put your ding dong, okay? I only
Mhm.
care that you can pass the physical test. I only care that you
Right.
are accurate when you are aiming your guns. I only care that you can carry your pack. I only care that you're focused when you're doing this, like, and you're going over there. I need you to be like prime peak performance level in every
Mhm.
category. I don't care about anything else. And if you are going into the military because all that you care about is getting your gender surgery, you shouldn't be there. That's not what the military is for. Go do some crowdfunding and go get whatever you want done. I don't care. I don't care. But when you have our military playing fairy and dressing up like little puppies and going around with, I'm going to dance today and I love my pink little camouflage outfit. You are literally telling every other nation, hey, open
weak you
season
are.
on
Joke.
America.
Yeah, how weak
Come
you
get
are. Yeah,
whatever
no,
you want.
it's true. It's telling you, it's telling the rest of the world of how weak you are, how
Exactly.
weak your military is. And
Well,
going back to when Obama got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, one of the things that I said fucking right away when I was having discussions with people, I was like, listen, I get it. There were plenty of people who served who were gay and whatnot, and they had to hide who they were and stuff like that because of, the policies were even worse before Don't Ask, Don't Tell and everything. I get it. But what I don't want to see is the uniform being fucking disrespected. And what happened, like
mhm,
clockwork, I was 100% correct. I was like, but
yeah.
the uniform is going to get disrespected. And sure enough, like you
Mhm.
said, running around and they show themselves in uniform and then they fucking go to their transformer uniform, right? And they're looking there in drag and shit like that, and
Mhm.
they're doing their stupid TikTok dances in uniform on the top of a fucking aircraft carrier or some shit
Oh,
like that. And it's just like it was insane to
Mhm.
watch. Or even worse, okay, on Air Force bases they were having drag queen hour to read to kids and stuff like that. So like
disgusting.
all of this shit was an issue. Okay. But I did find that video and we are going to watch it.
Oh, God.
She called him an instigator first.
Such an instigator.
Instigator and misogynistic instigator.
So what is misogyny?
Okay, so the reason I said it is just again based on the the
Because you hear it on the internet?
nah, bro, are you stupid? No. Based on the
No,
topic of
bro.
conversation that you keep choosing to come back to. I feel like you're asking questions that are very targeted because you're asking questions in a way that's very like, it's like saying, hey, because you're wearing black, do you feel like when you're crossing the street, people aren't going to see you as much? You know what I mean? Versus like, I don't know. I just feel like they're very targeted. Like they're very like,
She doesn't even know what she
they're questions that you know are going to get a controversial response. to,
Yeah,
you know?
but does that mean I'm misogynistic though? Let her Google it.
like she had to Google it. Okay, like literally
She
had to
would have been
fucking
better
Google.
off just walking away.
She really
Yeah.
would have.
Yeah, just like not answer and don't engage or anything
Mhm.
like that,
Yeah.
right? Like just like yeah, I don't feel like engaging or whatnot. It's insane. It's absolutely
You know what
insane.
they
And
say?
Rognita says, "What a dumbass." Wearing an
That's an
ice
understatement.
bandage as a top. Wearing an ice bandage as a top. Oh, we got a
Who
raid
was
coming in.
who was
We're
the?
about to get
I was gonna
raided.
say something.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. No,
Who
no, we
who
haven't been
was
raided
the?
yet.
Was it? I don't even. I feel like such a dork by saying this, but who was it? Was it Emerson or some famous writer that said, don't let the world know that you're a fool, or stay silent
That'll be something.
and not let the
It's
world
probably
you're a fool. Otherwise, instead of opening your mouth and removing all doubt,
Yeah,
something
it's
it's
like
something
that.
probably
like that.
Emerson
I know
something to
what
that
you're talking
Yeah,
extent.
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thought it
Yeah.
was Emerson, but I don't know, somebody like that, or maybe like a Thoreau or something like
It is a
one of
great
those
quote.
guys.
It is a great
Right.
quote.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if it was Emerson. So like we get rated and we rate on Rumble. I don't know if you know what that is.
Mhm.
And essentially uh people will take their chat and move their chat
Mhm.
over so their viewers, so like when they're done with their show on Rumble, they can rate another show and take their viewers who are in the chat and whatnot and push them over to another channel and whatnot and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think it's something that was I think you can do it on Twitch. I'm not on Twitch, so I wouldn't know. And we've been rating Handy News a couple of times, and Cass, who's like she mods every now and then, she jumps in to help mod. She mods for everybody. She's like Jonathan on Rumble though. And she's like, please stay on for another 10 minutes. He's like, he's been wanting to raid you now for a while because we raided him a couple of times. So I was like, we'll stay. I was like, don't worry about it. We'll stay. We got it. Just because, people want to return the favor and stuff because it's just a cool thing. I think it's a great feature. Blondie and I got raided like several months for the first time, and it helped build, it's helped not only help the channel, but it's helped the community. We've like everybody's communities kind of cross over with one another. So if you're not watching us, you're watching somebody else for a little bit before we come on or something, so people have taken time to, and then I'm on a show after on Fridays, I'm on somebody else's show now. I go on there for a
Amazing.
little bit and stuff like that for 2 hours. So yeah, it's a cool feature.
Yeah.
And again, it's been building the community up for us. We're growing more on Rumble than LubeTube anyway, because LubeTube sucks. They got the channel on ice. They're not gonna let it go. They're just not gonna let it go. So we're trying to push everybody here to Rumble. So are you on Rumble yet, Frankie, for your podcast?
I have not been putting any of my clips on there. Just because I was restructuring how I was going to do the podcast. I've just been really doing the clips on Instagram. I haven't posted anything.
Right.
But soon, just because I wanted to make sure that I had everything in place before I like really
Right.
started going ham. But I will be on Rumble, absolutely.
Good. Good.
My channel's
Def-
there. I just haven't posted anything.
Right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just, we're pushing, I made the decision that since LubeTube is going to be the way they are starting next year, we're going to make sure we do like all the lives on Rumble. And then we'll just do clips and put it on, I'm going to keep that channel going, but we're just going to do clips from here. And so if you want to watch the full show, go to Rumble,
Exactly.
it's just because we're growing here. So it just makes sense to stay here.
Yeah.
And, Rumble needs as many creators as they can to keep growing. They still have growing pains, but it's just a better platform,
Absolutely.
at this point for free speech and whatnot. We learned our lesson, right, Scott, on inauguration day, getting taken down. We're not going to let that happen to us ever again. Refuse to let that happen ever again. That we made that decision at that day. We're like, you know what? We are going to say and do whatever we want on this channel. And if YouTube takes us down in the middle of a stream, we still got Rumble going.
Exactly.
And people could join us there and whatnot. So, yeah, but it'll be good to see you. Like, hopefully, are you going to start doing lives or you're just going to do pre-recorded?
You know what? I just because it's usually just me. I've never done lives. I would love to start. I mean, if you guys are down, I can start with you guys first, just to kind of see how everything works, because for me at least, it's easier to just record everything one shot, have all of my notes, and then add everything in. But yeah, I would love to do some lives.
What are you using to do your records? What
am I editing with?
What are you using? Yeah, what are you using to do your recording? What system?
Yeah, I edit everything on Premiere, and then I just use for like the audio, I've got like GarageBand. But I
So you
haven't.
do everything off your phone essentially.
I do it on my camera, record on my camera, just transfer everything in. But I just edit on Premiere just because I know the program so well.
Right.
So and I just haven't had the opportunity to play
Nina
in the
says
back
you're
end
doing.
of the
Nina
screen.
says you're doing lives now.
I know, but I'm
I
not
was thinking that too.
handling.
You're here
Yeah,
with us
yeah.
right
We
now.
just
I'm not.
got rated. Welcome, Raiders.
This looks
That's
way
hilarious.
easier when you're a guest. Oh yeah, no, I will be on here every day. But there's so much that goes on in the background. You've got to have all your things loaded if you want to add something else in. If I've got because everything that I do is so heavy on sources and documents. Just to make sure that I'm like really clearly going through everything. So I have to know how to use the system right to be able to pull everything that I need and be able to switch, the views. So I need to learn the stream system first before I can do that completely on my own.
Welcome, Raiders. We just got rated. Holy shit.
What's up?
Is that the first time we got two in one stream?
Yeah, that just like bumped in like that. We just could actually, it was the same. It was the side. I'm reading it again. It's the same one. They just sent everybody over here. Thank you so much,
Hey.
Raiders. Cass, love you, honey. Thanks for this raid. The Handy News has rated us. We have rated them a couple of times. We absolutely appreciate you guys coming to jump in and hang with us. And right now tonight we have Frankie Rodriguez who's with us. This is our third time on the show.
The real Frankie Rodriguez.
The real Frankie Rodriguez. I'm sorry, the real
one.
Frankie Rodriguez.
The unfiltered version.
The unfiltered version, right?
I know. I'm like, when you're ready to get spicy on the podcast, let me know because we'll get crazy and yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
spicy
it
all the
also,
time.
yeah, yeah, we're
Conspiracy
spicy all
theories.
the
Yeah,
time.
we'll go wild on here.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
not
spicy
afraid.
all the time. I mean, we try to do, we try, we go down a little bit of rabbit holes here and there. But what we don't do is we don't get stuck. Like we've seen
No.
some people on our side, they're just stuck and they can't seem to get out of it, stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
again, I don't tell people what they can and can't do on their platforms. So, it is what it is. It's free speech. They can
Exactly.
do and say whatever they want. I am where we are at. So, but when you get ready seriously, when you get ready, we could absolutely rock. I mean,
Yeah.
are you looking for, are you looking for a streaming service
Yeah, I don't
to
I
do
don't
it?
I don't even have yeah, I haven't even gone down that just because I've been structuring everything. So the plan that I have, and I would love to get your guys' feedback. Um, because before all that I was covering was current events and kind of just showing and exposing everything that was happening on it, behind closed doors. And I
Mhm.
think I want to switch it more. So I do still want to cover certain current events because it is relevant, but I only want to focus on the stories that actually matter. I don't care about the
Yeah.
distraction stories. I don't care about,
No,
oh,
no,
she
but
said this and
We'll
what's
just
your
do what you
comment?
want.
Yeah.
no, no, you do
And
whatever. Yeah, no,
yeah, so I,
correct.
I want I want to focus on the more important stories, but I want it to be focused on, finances, economics, if you're building a business, um, policies that actually are going to make a difference. And then,
Right.
because I have such a strong Christian background and such a strong faith, like I want to show like how literally everything you could possibly need is in the Bible and how everything applies and how the Bible is
Mhm.
more relevant today than it was back then. And
Mhm.
so I really just want to like highlight all of that and actually show, look, if you do this with your finances, if you do this and you understand this in economics, if you do this and you want to start a business, this is how you can actually expand your options. And when you understand, tax code, if you understand what laws and rights exist, right, you understand how the system works. It's basically exposing the rules of the game because that's all that this is. That is all
Yeah.
that this is. Every single day, it's a game of distractions. It's a game of
D-
everything and everyone trying to
They
fight for
want to,
your attention
they want to
and
know if you have a
distract you.
Rumble channel. What's your Rumble channel? You
Oh, I
said you
think
have one.
yeah. I think it's just under Frankie Rodriguez. Yeah, let me
Frankie
pull out.
Rodriguez. Let's find it really quick.
Frankie.
But
It's
we
not real
definitely got to
Frankie.
get you going. Not the real Frankie. Yeah, hang
Yeah,
on.
the
Yep, it's
real,
just
real,
Frankie.
real Frankie Rodriguez.
It's Frankie Rodriguez podcast. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
going
you'll
to put
see.
that link.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link too.
I just
Back
put the
in.
link in the Rumble chat.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Fam, go follow her. We got to get her going. Okay, we got to get her going. Let me just say let me say thank you to the Raiders real quick because they're like we went from like 19 people to 58. This is that's the beautiful thing. That is the beautiful thing about raids. It's just awesome. Ramsey C, thank you for the raid. We appreciate you all. Nightwolf, thank you very much. Real Roy G Bivens, thank you. Appreciate it. Cass, you're awesome. Thanks for sending everybody our way. Um, it's just freaking fantastic. It's good to see you, TL Weberg. Oh, I might have said that wrong. If I did, I apologize. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody who's followed us, we really, really, really appreciate it. Salty All Fart, I've seen you before. uh, Good to have you back. Wow, that's really insane. And those of you that are hanging out there, and if you're just lurking, we love you too. We appreciate lurkers too because you're tuning into us. Tonight we had Frankie Rodriguez, who's been with us. This is the third time she's been with us. We are trying to convince her to get her full time on Rumble so we can get her going and get her podcast going. That's what she was discussing right now, what she's looking to do. And I think Frankie, obviously you got to do what you feel is right. But I think telling people, giving people the articles that are not going to be, because that's what it essentially is, giving
Hmm.
people information that the mainstream media is not. That is something we have done. Scott and I do that.
Hmm.
DK Spiracy, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much for rating us. Um, I think that's the way to go. On Rumble, you'll get the following. People will absolutely tune in. Guys, I put her link. Okay, I put her link in the Rumble chat. Please click on that link and start following her. Let's get her going, and we'll get you going too. We'll help you out.
Yeah,
I'll
and
be more than happy to come over. We use, just so you know, we use EVMux. That's what we use. And the reason I started using EVMux is because one, it's user friendly, but the main thing is because I found out about them. They started when they started their streaming service, it was to help churches, okay,
Wow,
record lives and
that's
record,
amazing.
and stuff like that. So like that was like hook, line, and sinker. They got me with that,
Mhm.
and I was like, all right, if I'm gonna spend my money, I'm gonna spend my money on them.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, it's
incredible.
just gonna be worth it. I got
Absolutely.
the pro plan, which is about $50. Uh, it's worth it. I have an affiliate. What do you call it? An affiliate account. So if you decide you want to do
Yeah.
that, by all means,
Yes.
you should get a discount using my affiliate account and stuff like that. And they have I like I said, I have the pro, which is like $50 a month, but they have one that's like 25. But even if it's just gonna be you, and you're not gonna have like a lot of collaborators and stuff like that, added to your account, and $25 is just fine. Uh, and it's just very user friendly. As you can see how we can put the chat up. You can do what's called dynamic grid and move people around and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It's been good to me. Uh, and it's been good to the show. So like it's what I started using even before Scott and I got together. So if you're interested in it, please let me
Yeah.
know. I'll be more than happy to send you my affiliate link. Um, but yeah, we need your voice, Frankie. We need to keep it going. We got to get you more exposure. I mean, you're really good at what you do, but I think more people would like to listen to you.
Thank you. And that's what's tough too. It's I'm not the person. I mean, I have people that come in and they'll, send messages, or they'll comment on things and they'll say, "Hey, you haven't covered this, you haven't covered this." And I get it. There's so much going on, but it's it's a very delicate balance of commenting on something accurately and just having an opinion, right? So
Right.
it takes time. It takes time to actually find all the credible sources and go through everything and read through. Like, I don't like using AI because that's not accurate. You have to
Right.
actually do the work.
No, you
So
have to look.
yeah, so it takes time. I'm not going to be the person that is first to report on something, because I'm going to wait to make sure that I have everything as accurate and
Hmm.
factual as possible. But if that's what you're looking for, like, that's what I'm about. Like, I want it to be accurate, fully deep dive researched. So yeah, and then if there's stories you guys want me to cover, because I don't just do the clips, I also do articles, and it's easier for me to do the articles than to be able to
Hmm.
record clips all the time. So if you come to my site, you'll see the articles that I post. Um, and
Her
I
links are in the description, fam, including her website.
Yeah, and I include all the sources, everything that I use to write and research and do all of these analyses are in those
Hmm.
articles, because I want you to be able to go further. If you want to find it, it's there. I don't
That's
hide
good.
anything. I don't make anything up. And so yeah, so if you guys want me to cover any story, or there's something that isn't sitting right and maybe I haven't covered it yet, and anyone that just recently followed, thank you so much, everyone that's watching. If you guys want to message me on Instagram and say, "Hey, there's a lot going on with this story. Would you be able to cover this?" I will cover it, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the information that you guys want too. It's not just, "Oh, I think this is important, this is not important." Because maybe for me, because I've done so much research, I might think that it's more common knowledge than it actually is. So I
Most
might
stuff
have to
isn't.
go back and cover something. Yeah, especially if you're a
Most
new
stuff isn't,
follower.
Frankie.
Yeah, it's
Most
it's
stuff
and
isn't,
it's
Frankie.
it's it's
Uh,
it's not.
Scott and I, we do it to each other all the time. Like he'll be
Yeah.
like, "Did you hear about this?" And I'm like, "No," and I'll be like, "Did you hear about this?" He'll be like, "No," and we bring it out together and talk about it.
Mhm.
Just and most things are just not going to be covered by the
Yeah.
Marxist state media.
No.
Most things, even nowadays, most things aren't being covered by the big people anymore. Like they're
Mhm.
staying on the same topic. You can go to anybody's channel and you're gonna get the same topic. Okay, like for weeks on end, and it's just like we refuse to do that.
Mhm.
We I will take 1,000 freaking ride or dies on this channel over 1 million followers any day.
Yep.
That are gonna be here to actually listen to what it is that we're trying to bring them, and
Exactly.
we're definitely gonna have you back, and we want to help. Reach out to me. Seriously, I will help you any way I can to get you going, to get you started. You definitely want. And again, even with EV you can start for free. You don't even have to pay right off the. They have a free version. The thing is, obviously, when you pay, you get more features and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's what anything you do. It's the reason why I pay. I pay for mine because, like, I want to be able to add collaborators,
Yeah.
to help out inside the studio if they can and stuff like that. Everything. I want to be able to like we did when we did our election night coverage, it was 6 hours, and because of the plan that I have, we were able to go right to 6, and it started warning me that you're almost at 6 hours, you're almost at 6 hours, and we shut it, we shut it down at like
Yeah,
midnight, but like we went like, it was like 1 o'clock, sorry, but we went 6 hours.
that's
Well,
amazing.
we did. Scott tapped out.
Come on. Come on, man. You had
So
one job.
anything we could do, Frankie, to
That
help you
wasn't my
out and
job.
get you rolling.
That's my job.
My job was
It
I
was
had to wear
elite.
different hats all night. That's how my
Yeah,
job.
and he
That's an
did.
important job. That's an important
And
job.
he did keep changing his hats throughout the day, so that was definitely a big thing. Uh, Jonathan said he had to tap out too. Yeah, Jonathan was with us the whole time.
It's a
He was with
long,
us there
yeah,
too.
yeah. Because I don't remember if I did if it was election
So
night or if it was the last debate, but man, we were on for a while when I did mine with my two the two that I work with everything.
yeah,
And yeah, that was a
it's a long
wild
night.
night. It was a
So
long night.
so Neurodivergent said he gave you a follow.
Thank
He's
you
one
so
of
much.
he's what do you call it? He's all over the place modding as well.
Nice.
Um, I got him as a mod here. If he had Powerlifter, what is going on, Powerlifter 33? Good evening. But Neurodivergent, he's always around. He goes everywhere. Uh, get to know him, in case you need him to mod and you're modding and he has the time. He's that type of person. He will jump in. Same thing with Cass Rumble, who was there, who was in the stream and stuff like that. She mods for a lot of people on Rumble as well. And she goes
Amazing.
back and forth. She has access to my Rumble to mod anytime we're on. So she'll jump in and just hang out for a little bit and then go back to wherever she's going. And she like again has people up. Jonathan, who's been my ride or die mod since day one. Like even when I didn't have a mod, he was modding for me, right? Like literally, it was literally him and I
That's a
doing
real ride or
lives.
die.
It was literally him and I doing lives by ourselves before Scott and I met, and he wasn't even my moderator. He was just telling me fix your sound, do this. He was just hanging
Yeah.
in the chat with me, and it was him and I talking to each other for like we did that a couple of times. Then finally we were able to get Scott. When Scott came on, what do you call it? He brought some people over from Instagram that are now been hanging with us forever. Nina has been a ride or die. Cowgirl's a ride or die with us. Rosie Riveter, she was on before. She's a ride or die. She was with me before Scott and I got together too. Like we've known each other from Instagram going back to like 2016.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's great. She Cass Rumble. Cass is awesome again, and I saw your comment there. Yeah, Yankee Free is now using EVMux, and I'm glad. And he just like he loved it. Well, after the show on Friday, we were talking about it. He was like, I didn't have any problems and anything like that. So, but we are getting ready to sign off here soon. Scott, are you back there, brother? Uh, he's there
He's
somewhere.
changing
We'll get him
hats.
back.
He's
Yeah, he's
changing
changing hats. He's changing hats right now.
hats.
Yeah, but yeah, Yankee, Frankie, you
Don't
could come
tempt
on.
me.
Yeah, Frankie, you could come back anytime. I'm glad that you came on to come hang with us,
Yeah.
and it was good to see you again. We hadn't seen you in a while, so it was good to have you back. Always
Yeah,
great to
thanks,
have your
Mom.
perspective on things, and you always bring it. So like we love having you on because you always bring it.
Try my best. Try my
Yeah.
best.
We are going to get you going on Rumble though. We have oh shit, there we go. I knew he
It's
was.
time. Yes.
Sometimes you will things into existence, man.
You know
Oh
what?
man.
I felt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a story behind it. You want to give her the quick synopsis before we head out?
What's that? Oh, the hat.
Yeah.
This is my everyday Santa hat.
Is there a special occasion Santa had?
No, the story was over the weekend. Someone failed to invite me to a big family event, so as a payback, I started setting up Christmas decorations in October,
Nice.
which I knew would piss off my wife, and I literally like we had stuff that was in boxes that wasn't supposed to be opened. Like she wasn't even sure she wanted to open them up, and I like
Open
opened
them all.
everything. I set up 3 trees. I had
He did.
everything set
Oh
up,
my gosh.
He
and
did. He showed
I
us on
was gonna go
Saturday.
balls to the wall before she wasn't supposed to come back until sometime on Sunday, and she ended up coming back late Saturday night instead. So I
Oh,
failed to have it completely set up, and then she kind of like took over the whole. She was mad at first,
you just
like
kept
she
going.
literally. Well, she was mad at first, and she was like, "You know, this is gonna what this is doing to my anxiety, right?" Because it was a mess. There was like needles everywhere. There
Right,
was like
but
snow all over the floor from the flocked trees. There
Oh
was
my
just like
gosh.
it was
he
just
just
trash.
he did this on Saturday, okay? Because I do a show on Saturday called the Salty Dog
Hmm.
Show, and it was the first time. It's the first time he came on the show, right? Because he's always salty about something, but he came on. He's like, I got some time, and boy, was he salty when he came on. Like he was really
Oh, I was
salty when he
mad.
came on. He was
Wait,
so
I gotta
tight.
get you. I've got this shirt that says salty and lit. I should get you one.
Oh yeah.
He just he was tight. But did you tell exactly what made you tight? It was an this was it was a steak
Well, I was
after
pissed
party.
off, dude. There was
A
I had
steak
to help.
after party. Now my ears are
There
like,
was a um,
ding.
yeah, because there was a it was a baby shower for one of my nieces on my wife's side of the family,
Mhm.
and I wasn't invited to that. It was supposed to be all girls, so I was like, fine. But it was like a couple hours away. My wife was like, "Do you want to come and just wait for me?" I'm like, "Wait for you? No, just go. I'm just I'm gonna stay home. I don't want to be sitting in a car for 3 or 4 hours, and who knows how long. They're Mexican, so who knows how long it's really going to be? It's not 3 or 4 hour
It's gonna
party.
be double. It's gonna be double.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there was an after party planned, which they claimed yesterday. They claimed that they told me about. I'm like, you never fucking told me there was a. I would never forget the steak party
No,
that they someone brought their smoker over.
that's not
They
an
Oh man.
after party. That's the main party starting.
That's the main party,
Yeah.
exactly.
The other part
Not to
was just the
mention, dude, this is a
pre-party.
guy that actually has his own cows.
Oh
The
my.
He
rancher.
freaking yeah,
That's
he has
that's just
cows. That's where he gets his meat. So it's
that's
like the
just
best
rude.
stuff.
That's just rude to
Yeah.
not tell you about
So
it.
they never invited me. And then to make it even to add one of the adding the insult to injury, she did not bring me any steak. I don't know if I told you
Oh.
that, dude.
Oh
She brought
no,
me a
you
whole
didn't.
thing of smoked chicken.
That
I was like,
Oh
"What about the
no.
steak?" She's like, "Oh, we ran out." I'm like, "No fucking shit, you ran
we
out because it was probably
ran out.
amazing.
No.
It
That is not
was
supposed to
probably the
happen.
bomb." So I said, "Well,
Oh
whatever."
no.
Oh, that
So
hurts
when
my
she came,
heart.
so when
Yeah.
she came home Saturday night, I told you she got mad, but eventually, it only lasted about 15, 20 minutes, and then she basically took over because that's how she is. She started taking over, saying, "Oh, well, now that all this stuff is out, this is great. We literally
I
were
might
up
as well
really
start.
late Saturday night
Yeah.
organizing and like
Oh my
moving
God.
things around, but then it was on her timetable, so it wasn't as fun for me."
Frankie, I was laughing my ass off for like 45 minutes straight because we were talking
Yeah.
about it. And then
Yeah.
but the thing is, he took his laptop, right? His laptop cam, and he showed everybody the shit that he had set up. It was made it that he had 3 trees up in the house. It's
In the
fucking
same
awesome.
room.
In the same room. It was
Oh my
awesome.
god, that's amazing.
It was
Yeah, it's
awesome. It
great.
was
I love
freaking great.
Christmas.
Tyranny, no. Thank
I
you for
need to
hanging
see.
with us, Feral Patriot. I know.
I need to
neural
see. I need to see this.
Yeah, neuro. Yeah, I know. I wanted to see the aftermath today, but he said he says his plans got thwarted, so he couldn't finish it.
The plan was I said, "Oh, I'll go to sleep now."
Oh,
I was planning on going to sleep, and I was like, "I'll just do it all in the morning." And then when my wife walks in, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
You're like, I
I
can't
was
even
like,
have this.
I was like, don't you take this from me."
We didn't even get steak, and you didn't even get to have that.
that's great.
That's
Oh man, yeah. So we missed that. This Friday, fam. Wednesday, Warrior Wednesday. Friday, we have our Halloween episode. We still got to figure out what the hell we're gonna. I still got to figure out what I'm gonna do for Halloween. So right
I
now
have no idea.
it's me, Red Day, Blondie. We're trying to get some more people to come paint their face, dress up, whatever, and have fun with us. Um, but we'll see. So you're welcome, Frankie, if you want to come hang with us on Friday on Halloween.
I'll show with some more Christmas stuff for Scott.
Yeah, I know. Just show up
Oh,
as
it's gonna
just a
keep going.
just come up as a Christmas elf.
Yeah.
We went and bought because she's into it now. We went and bought more lights. So
Nice,
Now's the time.
you know,
nice.
we had like bags and bags of it. We're like, no, we need some more. So and guess what we're doing tomorrow? So we're getting 2 more trees.
You need one
Holy,
in every room. Listen, you need one
holy
in every
shit.
room.
Because
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
she
I want
said,
to see
remember
this
that
at the
guy?
end.
Because this guy was moving around the corner and feel bad. This like 85-year-old guy, he's like moving, and he's literally we saw him and we were like he's getting rid of everything, and he has two trees that he's never opened before,
No
and we should have
way.
gotten them a month ago, a month
Oh
or two
yeah.
ago,
Oh
and
yeah. Go get that.
she
Go get that.
now all of a
That's
sudden she
necessary.
wants to go get them. I'm like, so we're gonna have 5 trees, and she's like,
What have we
Oh
started?
man.
I guess
Oh
so. I'm
god.
like, can we have them all? And now I'm telling them, no, we have to have them all in the same room. I want there to be like a, no matter
It's
what
every
direction I
corner.
look, there's a big tree.
Who wants to wake up in a forest?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
what
It's
she
gonna be
said. She
big
goes,
fucking
that's what
Yeah.
her problem was. She said, I
Yeah.
don't want to wake up in a forest. I'm like, yes, I do.
Well,
I
These
want
fam,
to wake up in
also
the gumdrop forest.
I know we got movie night on November 15th this month because the holidays are coming up, and also because Jonathan is going to have a ton of overtime coming up for where he works. So make sure you sign up for the Discord. Make sure you're checking out the movies. He's got a bunch of comedies up there. So we need people to vote. But November 15th, Saturday the 15th, will be our movie night, 8 p.m. Well, Frankie, let everybody know where you're at. We're gonna head out and just let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, if you wanted to check out any of the articles, I'm talking too fast now. We're talking about steak, and now I'm ready to go have a steak downstairs. Now I can't talk. So you can go to my website. It's realfrankierodriguez.com. And then my Instagram is the same, Real Frankie Rodriguez. So that's where I have all my clips and everything now. And then I'll have my podcast up and running shortly. So I'm super excited. But go follow me on Instagram. You can message me. Sometimes I get a little busy, but I will always write back. Yeah, so just message me, and I'd love to see what you guys are getting into too. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Come say
Well,
hello.
like I said, anything if you need any help, we got you. And if you're looking for a streaming service and whatnot, EV Mux, like I said, is good to go.
Yeah,
Very user friendly. I can show you how to use it in 2 seconds because I'm a noob with this shit.
yeah.
I'm always learning stuff and everything. Red Day, what do you got, brother?
Jesus. Make sure you get you started on your Christmas decorations. It's never too early.
Trust me, I'm ready. I
Usually
told
I
my
would wait
parents. I
till
told my parents
usually I'd wait till like the
Saturday
second week of
morning.
November, but
Saturday
I was
morning, I'm pulling
already
everything out.
right. That's right, baby.
I'm ready. I've
You know
been
what?
ready.
I was talking about this. We were talking about this on here just a couple weeks ago, saying like, this is the reason, this is the whole point where, we should be going balls to the wall right now with the culture shift and everything like that. It's
Yeah.
like, we're not, don't be worried about stepping on toes. Don't be worried about politically correct. If you celebrate Christmas, have at it. If you
Mhm.
celebrate, Rosh Hashanah, have at it. Who cares? Don't be feel like you got to hold yourself back
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, I don't want to offend anybody" or something like that. No, no, no.
Yep.
'Cause I have a neighbor around the corner. He's got his Christmas lights up on his trees already outside. I showed him the video of that too.
He did. He showed me that.
I'm
I was
like,
like, oh
it's
shit.
October. I love it. I
I
said,
love it.
you want your specialty months? We're just going to expand Christmas well beyond December.
Listen,
Sorry,
I go
that's
into
just the way it's going to
January.
be.
I mean, I don't know if you do this, Scott, but do you celebrate three wise men, three kings?
That's the
Uh,
Puerto Rican.
maybe.
That's the Puerto Rican.
No,
That's
Yeah.
I
that's
don't.
You probably haven't. You
oh,
probably
buddy.
haven't since
Okay,
you were a
listen.
kid.
This
You
is
probably
I
haven't since you
celebrate
were a
really,
kid,
Noche
Scott.
Buena. I
Yeah.
celebrate Noche Buena.
really quick, really quick. So this is
Yeah.
like Christmas part 2
Yeah.
every season, January 6th and 7th. This is Three Kings Day, and you get presents on that day too. So you have
Yep.
to keep all of your Christmas decorations up. You got to keep your Christmas tree up
Oh,
and
that would
everything.
happen. That would
Yeah,
happen anyway in December. I mean, not in January for sure.
yeah. So you have to that
Absolutely.
you so you get two
And I
Christmases.
think, well, you could have three because I think Russian Christmas is January 15th, isn't it?
Oh,
Well, and
hey,
the Greek Christmas is around that time too. So.
perfect, perfect.
Perfect. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Good.
fam. We are getting ready to raid Third Railify on the way out here. Once again, don't forget, November 15th is movie night. That'll be right after the Salty Dog Show. So from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Salty Dog Show. From 8 p.m. on will be the movie. The movies are listed up on Discord right now, so you got to sign up and whatnot. If you're already signed up, make sure you go vote. and everything. And we will get going. We will absolutely have Frankie back. We will be monitoring her to see where she goes as far as her podcast. We want to make sure we get her up and running. She
Monitoring
always
you.
has fantastic stuff that she discusses and talks about. All her links are in the description, fam. Make sure you click on them and whatnot. Thank you so much for the Raiders for coming in. Cass, I love you, honey. Thank you for bringing everybody over here. Same thing with you, Neuro. Appreciate you too for bringing people over and making them aware. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for all my ride or dies that have been here with us for a while now. Appreciate you all. So we are going to be heading over, like I said, to Third Railify. They're on right now. That's just Gina and the crew over there and whatnot. So again, appreciate you all, guys. You guys have
Thanks,
been
everybody.
absolutely phenomenal tonight. Thank you so much. I am the Big Red One Guy signing out. And remember that together and only together can we break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. And you all have a good night. Sending you over to Third Railify right now.